mine as well. Yes, accept. Okay, so I muted audio, I muted mic, and then I just minimize this, right? Share chat started. Okay. Coolio, Fulio. All right, well, it's officially here. Hopefully the start of a new tradition. At least I'm hopeful for. This is actually pretty cool. First time getting to do a collaborative stream, and I'm doing it with Deep Dish Jimmy. Election night. This is going to be pure fucking chaos, madness, anarchy.
Agreed.
It's gonna be wild. Okay,
I can't
so
fucking wait. I'm so excited.
Here, the numbers are just coming
let's see what the nerds are saying.
Your local news standing by. We'll see in just a couple of
Oh,
minutes.
Trump won Virginia.
All right. Welcome back, you guys, to my channel as well. We are back for election coverage. I've got Papa Herschel in this time. We are about to get into a journey of election night coverage. I cannot wait for this shit show, y'all. This is going to be fun. I'm ready. You ready, Hersh?
Oh, I'm fucking ready. I was born ready. So it looks like they had said something about Virginia. We're going to go over to the electoral map 2024. Let's refresh, make sure we're caught up. All right, Trump is up right now, 177 to 99. Virginia looks like it's getting close to being called for Trump. That's not good.
Nope.
I'm trying to get caught up on everything that's been going on right now. This is interesting. Nice little blue wall going on right here. Jimmy, what's been one of the biggest surprises for you so far that you've seen?
Biggest surprises that I've seen.
Look at all
Cool.
these happy wedding guests.
Jesus Christ, now I'm gonna fucking draw a blank. I'm actually no, see, you know what? It's 2024. It's really hard to surprise me. I would say seeing Trump winning so far is a surprise, but why wouldn't it be a surprise? I didn't you say earlier North Carolina didn't get that Black Hitler guy? Did he lose, right? That was surprising.
Yeah,
That was
he
nice.
lost. Oh, apparently people in the stream are having a hard time hearing me.
You. Okay.
1 second. Let me. Sorry about this, guys.
I can hear you. You sound fine.
Let me turn him up.
1 second.
Yeah, you sound fine on the stream.
Okay, cool. So it's just an issue for Roxy. Cool. Sorry, got distracted. I think one of the biggest surprises for me right now is how close North Carolina is. I definitely, and I'm glad that you had brought up Sir Black Hitler. I actually have that up here right now. Josh Stein has been called by the Associated Press. That is a race that I was really hopeful. You never know. It's kind of sad that the guy who came out and said that he is Black Hitler, along with all of the other controversy surrounding his name, and we'll probably watch a couple of videos about him here pretty soon. But it's really disturbing and kind of a major reflection on American politics and the way they are, that this guy right here is able to get 40% of the fucking vote. That is, but yeah, overall, I definitely have to say that North Carolina being as close, definitely surprised. Georgia, it's really neck and neck, but again, what everybody is aware of, and if you're not aware of it, if you're somewhat new to politics, one of the things is earlier on in the voting, you're going to see a lot more states claiming for Trump, you're going to see a lot more Republican votes being counted in. Throughout the night, you'll start seeing a little bit more of a what they call like a blue wave, essentially, and that's going to be happening throughout the late night hours, especially as you start having a lot of the polls in the West Coast start to close. Um, but so far, I mean, things are kind of going the way that we expected, right? Like Trump getting Texas, we expect that, right? I don't really think anybody's surprised by that. Florida, um, the only thing I could say for Florida is that I'm really more surprised that it's not more like Kentucky numbers. I mean, if you look at Kentucky, Trump won with 1 million votes, right? Compared to Kamala Harris's 637. As with Florida, the gap was really small. Trump was able to get 6 million of the votes compared to Kamala Harris's 4.
Ooh. And let me see the percentage of the other one.
For Kentucky,
Yeah.
yeah, that's 63% to 34%.
Wow. Well, I mean, it is Florida though. You had what's his name that was running for office. So and during that time, a lot of people were leaving California and moving to
Sweet
Texas and
potato Hillary.
Florida. So you kind of expect I kind of expected Florida to turn a little bit more red than it normally has been.
Yeah. Um, Hold on, let me get caught up in chat. Looks like it'll come down to the blue wall after everything. Yeah, Steve, honestly, that's what it's looking like, and we were kind of expecting that. The only problem is, um, Trump kind of shifted a lot of his rhetoric. When you saw the election in 2020, Trump's rhetoric was more along the lines of "Don't trust early voting, don't trust in mail-in ballots," as opposed to this election cycle. He saw how much he had kind of amputated himself, especially in a lot of what is considered swing states. So he's been pushing out the idea, and there was a lot of early voting. And obviously, I think a lot of that has to do with Republicans. Edward Gementum is one of the pollsters that I follow, and he was talking about the possibility of Republicans cannibalizing their own vote, essentially because on election day, Republicans tend to show out a lot more and they tend to get a large number. And the outcome wasn't really looking good. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
I agree. What does
I
the
guess it's me.
crap have to do with politics? By the time the votes are all counted, gonna be blue tsunami. That's right. Can't hear anything. Oh, my side.
What the fuck does any of this theory crap have to do with politics? Well, right now it's not really all theory. We're just kind of looking at the electoral and then also theorizing. We're also going to be talking about certain political things.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Kind of talking about some of the rhetoric and policy
Yep. Like
that
no
has
matter what
enabled some of the vote.
no matter what anybody has said over the last couple months, no matter what we really think of what that's going to happen today with this, this red shit that's happening and then the blue wave later on tonight, it really, technically, if you guys really think about it in the bigger picture, it really is a 50-50 shot of Kamala or Trump. Like we really, honestly, truly don't know who's going to win this.
Yeah, I think anybody who's trying to delude themselves in the idea that there's going to be a major blue wave, when you see just how ineffective of a campaign that Kamala Harris was running.
Exactly.
And one of the things that we can talk about actually that's politics wise is we can look up here in a moment Kamala Harris rallies where she's specifically talking about the fact that she wants to have a more militarized police force. She wants a more militarized border patrol. She wants a more lethal military overall. And that's definitely language that last election cycle the Democrats were kind of running away from and trying to get people to turn away from. And I think the main difference between the 2020 election and this election, at least in 2020, you had Democrats that were coming out and saying things against immigration that would be along the lines of, you're being inhumane. You are literally ripping children away from their parents. This is wrong. To Kamala's policy of, well, we're going to make sure that we deport people. We're just going to do it orderly, right? Like we're not just going to grab people out of their homes as the way that Trump is trying to lean forward towards. We're just going to do it in the nice liberal way, if that makes sense.
Right. I agree. Roxy is saying that she still can't hear me on my end. Hold on, I'm trying to fix it. Obviously, Audio issues. Oh, there it is. Okay. Nope, you're
My
right,
favorite
kid.
thing about Trump, he's so senile. He says the quiet parts out loud, so we know what to deal with. Yeah, I don't. And part of me always wonders too with Trump how much of that is him being senile, and then just him being, a complete narcissist and just thinking that he's bigger and better than everything, right? Where like he just has that mentality where he doesn't have to worry about walking on eggshells and dog whistles because um, there was a clip. I wish I could remember the name of the guy. I'll have to look for it here in a minute and pass it off to you, Jimmy. But there was a guy who was talking about the fact that Donald Trump kind of exudes what white privilege is entirely, right? He's a guy that he cannot commit enough crime to be labeled a criminal. He cannot be. He cannot say enough racist things to be a racist. He cannot fail enough times to be called a failure.
Yep.
There's no line, there's no bar that is set completely.
Yep. He has exceeded
My
every
prediction of Kamala hitting
like
270 exactly can still happen, but it'll take her winning all three of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Going to be tough. No, and that's the thing that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so this is the 2020 election map right here. Honestly, I'm just going to be honest. Something is telling me that one of these two states are going to be flipping red. Wisconsin more likely than Michigan. So I definitely think that's going to be a problem. And Pennsylvania definitely worries me too. The only thing that it would be absolutely fucking hilarious is if the October surprise was Tony Hinchcliffe going out on Madison Square Garden and just saying the dumbest, most hacky comedian bit shit that you've ever heard in your entire life. That would
wait.
be kind of like the chef's kiss.
Yep. I'm
You there,
waiting.
Jimmy? Hello?
Yes, yes. Sorry, I think I fixed my audio. Can you hear me?
Oh, Jimmy's not there. Let's go back to
Wait,
ABC.
I'm not here.
What the hell
Hold
they're saying.
on.
Too early to really draw too much into what is
See, I'm just having audio issues
where
today, y'all.
Democrats have had turnout problems in the past.
Yeah, only 10% of the vote in.
I'm gonna
What's
have
the
to
benchmark she needs to
close
be
that
hitting?
out.
Yeah, she needs to be getting about 6.
Open it back up. That's all I can do.
She's at 67%. She's at 63.
Hit me.
I'm coming.
Right now.
I'm gonna type in
we really
chat
have
to
a
let
lot
Jimmy know.
Had to ha 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 ha. I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'm coming back. All right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene
Okay.
get taken out. That would have been fucking perfect. Oh,
Okay.
Jimmy's back.
Yep, I think I'm back now. Okay.
Yep, I hear you.
Sheesh. There's my one audio issue. It's done. I'm good.
Yep, we got it out of the way.
It's out of the fucking way. All right. All right. All right. What do we got?
Because she's then bleeding support.
Right now they're talking about Georgia.
All right. You guys all hear me? Hear me? Am I fine? I put my audio all the way up.
In a lot of these places and just bringing up
You can hear me, Rox? Okay, good.
40,000 votes in all these different counties across the state, and that's why you see now this edge beginning to emerge.
Oh shit, they're edging. They're fucking edging.
Oh no.
I, Donald Trump, am edging.
About 60-40 there, with only about 16% of the vote in.
She's her cookies
so-
over there crying.
While they're talking about this stupid shit, let's actually talk some politics. So one of the big things about this election, and again, I was kind of talking about it before this break.
Size of those
The problem that I have with this election is obviously, regardless of who wins, I'm not going to be happy. I'm just going to put it out there. I am not a Kamala supporter. I am not a Trump supporter. I just feel like this is actually one of the elections where we have actual physical and tangible proof to point to people who call themselves centrist when we say things like, yeah, America's, if not already a fascist state, becoming more fascist. And, again, you have the centrists who are always going to try to debate that. No, it's. But no, we have actual fucking tangible proof now, just based off of the Democrats' shift in things, whether it be the genocide that's being committed right now in Palestine, whether it comes to things like immigration, whether it comes to basic infrastructure policy for the United States to make sure that people actually have roads and bridges that they can drive on and clean, water that they can actually drink. One of Trump's favorite lines: "We're gonna have the cleanest water. It's gonna be the greatest."
Yep. I can't
yeah,
wait till they all start coming out saying this kind of stuff, because then it's going to be finally, I'm hoping this might be the time where we start saying, no, what's actually happening is you're giving us shit and they're fucking screaming like crazy people, and we can't fucking we can't pick any of you guys. Their fault for leaning to the right that made people not want to vote for them, and it's more proof that fear causes people to do action more than caving into right-wing policy.
100%. And I think tonight one of the greatest reflectors of that is going to be states like Michigan,
Yep.
Pennsylvania,
Yep.
the Midwest states especially, right? And I think the only real true chance that we can see the typical blue tsunami that we're kind of accustomed to is one of two things. People saying that their vote for Kamala Harris is just to make sure that Trump finally gets the wooden stake in his heart after this election cycle. Like, he's made it very clear and very evident that he's pretty much done, right? Like, if he doesn't win this one, he's going to fight the election results if he loses, but ultimately he's not going to campaign again because the next election cycle, you know how old he's going to be? 82.
Yep.
He's going to be 82 years old. That motherfucker's already tired. He was over there trying to gobble up a microphone like it was a penis.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And
oh my
and
God.
and that's when the people are and that's what I'm really excited to see what's going to happen after that as well, is like you've got these two separate sides of Republicans. You've got the MAGA Trump supporters, and then you've got the Rhino Republicans. And I'm interested to see how that dynamic is going to work out once Trump is no longer viable to run or doesn't want to run anymore. Is who they're going to post up as the new boy? Are they going back to Rhinos, or are they going to keep this crazy Trump train going just with another idol?
Um, I mean, that's a good question. If I had to answer that myself, I think they're gonna go look for another idol because they need
Right.
it.
Right.
And that's why Trump has been positioned in the way that he has. It's just because people, regardless if you're a conservative or if you're, a liberal, uh, leftist, libertarian, everybody in this country is suffering from not being able to afford groceries, not being able to afford rent or mortgages, not being able to go to the doctor, not being able to go to the dentist, XYZ. We have a multitude of things that are actual issues and problems that we face on a daily life. And the only person that has even somewhat acknowledged it and not tried to uh, spin it with guilt or any of like your typical liberal academic speak is Donald Trump, right? Like, instead of coming in and being like, well, the capitalistic system is built on, like, he came out and was like, no, you know what it is? It's the greedy fucking people. It's them. Because when you're vague enough, you can have more power. The perfect example I have for that is the American Constitution. It's worded in a very vague way to ensure that those with power can understand the language and use it to their gain. It's no different than what we're seeing, the way that Trump utilizes populism in his messaging, whether it be at his rallies or campaigning, whatever you want to call it. And that's a big problem because ultimately you don't have a place for people to turn around in the Democratic Party because they're having to protect their donors too.
Right.
And the difference is the majority of people who make up right wing politics are fucking nationalists. And when they hear people say words like greedy, they think of a specific group of people. I'm not going to say that group, but we all know who I'm referring to if you follow politics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. But who
And
would
it's
they
just,
pick
and it's
though?
frustrating.
And see, that's the thing, like, is who would they pick to do that? Because, like, Trump, I mean, even though we all fucking hate Trump, he's got this, like, I don't know, this suave personality. People just listen to him. It's not like you would see, it wouldn't be the same seeing Mitch McConnell saying those kind of things. We wouldn't have that same kind of feeling as Trump does. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of person they're going to bring in that's not some old Republican that's been saying the same things, but we just don't listen to him because we don't like him.
They already have they're literally, for lack of better words, they're grooming him right now.
Really? Mitch McConnell or Bill?
Yeah.
Really?
You have the stream up. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
This is who. This is the guy.
Oh yeah, JD Vance.
This
Oh
is the
yeah.
guy. This is the guy.
I
This
forgot.
is the guy. This is the guy. And let me tell you something. The reason why I say this is because he is an Ivy League graduate.
Hmm. Okay, so
Check
he's been
this out.
trained.
Let's check this out. Early life military service and education. James Donald Bowman was born on August 2nd, 1984 in Middleton, Ohio. Scots Irish descent. Oh, dude. Uh-oh. 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 Nazis not gonna like that. Mm-mm. Oh, wait. Do the Nazis now consider Scots and Irish to be white? Is that part of their
Yes.
thing now? It's so hard to
No,
keep
no, no.
up.
They do.
Okay.
They do. They do.
Okay. Okay, for now they do until they get rid of... Until they start doing their final solution, right?
Exactly.
Papa and Mama.
His mom
Let's
traded him
see.
for some perks, and I can see why more and more.
Dude, that's great. I love that.
Oh,
Vince then attended Yale. Yeah, so he went to Yale.
okay. That, yep,
Yeah, so
properly
he's-
trained.
He's the Ivy League. He's like the perfect appeal for liberal voters because he's the fucking... He's this guy.
Yep.
And the problem is, once he started actually doing interviews with like reputable news networks, he became a lot more human. So like, let me pop up a JD Vance interview. I'm sorry guys, trigger warning. We're gonna watch a JD Vance interview.
Hmm. I'm gonna.
Because-
I'm pinning that message. There it is.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
fucking great.
It's great.
I don't want to watch the Joe Rogan one because that's just fucking. Oh my goodness. NBC News. Okay.
He was anti-Trump. Come back.
Let's go ahead and pause this.
Come back. There
Here we go.
Senator JD Vance, welcome back to Meet the Press.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
It's great to have you. Thank you for sitting down with us. I want to start with some of the news this week. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed that North Korean troops are training in Russia and potentially bound for the war in Ukraine. The U.S. intelligence community confirmed that Russia is creating disinformation to sow doubt in the upcoming presidential election. Let me ask you this question, Senator. Do you see Russian President Vladimir Putin as an ally or an enemy?
Okay,
Well,
first of
think
all, I
he's
hate this
clearly
fucking
an
question.
adversary. He's
That's such a fucking stupid fucking question.
I know.
That's such a stupid fucking question, dude.
It is.
I hate it so much. And remember, he was anti-Trump. No, 100%. 100%. And I think the JD Vance pick just kind of shows you how fucking desperate Trump is for two different reasons. Okay? One, because JD Vance used to call him fucking Hitler as well, right? Like, I'll have to see if I can find the video here in a moment. But, like, JD Vance was straight up talking about how, like, he was super authoritarian and he was Hitler. And the other thing that shows you how fucking desperate Trump was this election cycle was because he listened to his two fail sons on who he should pick for VP.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, let's not forget, when Mr. fucking couch fucker over here was going on those, like, red pill, manosphere, YouTube channels, he was just coming off weird and awkward and, unhuman. Like, what's that infamous video where he goes to the donut shop and it's just, you could tell he's never been around a normal person in his adult life.
Mm-hmm.
Coke brain picked by the boys, dude. God damn it. Eric and Donald Jr., you disappoint me. Doing that blow on the rooftop for your birthday, I knew it was you.
Oh God, that's
You
great.
know who told me? Ivanka. She told me.
You're no longer my son. Barron's my only son now.
Baron is mine now. He's the greatest child. You're no longer the eldest boy. You watch Succession? Great show. Great ratings. Nothing like mine. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly... Obviously, you're not paying much attention to the conversation, but I just wanted to at least present for those watching the stream, like, JD Vance in this interview comes off as your typical milquetoast politician. He is somebody that, even though Hassan broke my brain with this, he looks like the German kid from Willy Wonka, or what was it, Shrek, where he just has like the fucking like the buck teeth and he's just staring at the screen, but it's like, oh, and I dropped un lolly, I don't have lollipop no more. Like, he just looks like a fucking annoying little Pixar animated character. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's not great commentary, but it's just I fucking
It's
hate
right.
him.
Oh, it's right. There's something wrong with his eyes and his eyebrows. It just almost makes it what's that thing where it's like not actual human, it's like partially human. It's like this thing on TikTok that people are like afraid of where it's like a person, but it's not really a person because there's something just slightly off about their face, their eyes or something. He's like that. He just doesn't seem real.
Oh my god, California fools, you just, bro, speaking of the fucking weird face and eyebrows, Paul fucking Ryan. Yes. Vance
Paul.
is basically a Paul Ryan.
Yes, the eyes too.
But he's part of the in crowd. Paul Ryan became part of the out crowd because of his criticism of Trump, and that came later after he kissed his ass. But Vance did it the smart way, dude. He came at Trump reckless. He was like, yo, fuck your shit, dude. You're a bitch. And then Trump was like, kiss the ring. And he did.
Yep.
And now he's part of the cool club.
Yep.
Now he doesn't have to worry about getting bullied anymore. And so, like, he has all of the appeal to, like, liberals and suburbanites that Paul Ryan did.
Yep.
100%.
Yep, you're fucking right, California. I didn't even think about that. Paul Ryan. God, where the fuck did Paul Ryan go? Is he still in office?
No, he's been done for a while. After he came out against Trump, his constituency turned their back on him and got him the fuck out.
See,
Replace him with the Trump loyalist.
that's what I'm like so intrigued to find out once Trump can't run anymore, where all these people are gonna go.
Yeah, they're around. Because here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna pause this so we don't have background noise. The thing is with Trump, the way that he has kind of capitalized on, and this is something my brother's really great with, and I wish he wasn't working so he could be part of this stream. But he really capitalized on like the Q movement and the conspiratorial side of politics and the things that really get people motivated to possibly vote that normally wouldn't, right? And statistically, Donald Trump has been one of the best like low propensity voters. If I actually look it up right now.
I mean, he's had a chokehold on all those Q people before Q was even around. I mean, he's one of the people that started the birther movement with Obama and all of that. So, and and how Obama's wife wasn't a woman, or that she was a man. Like, he did all of that shit before Q was even around. So yeah, he's been feeding that flame for years.
Okay, that's New York Post. I definitely don't want to read that. Sorry.
He's on TV crapping on Trump. Do the roar. What's the
Yeah,
roar?
no, cookies. That's right. That's right. That's who it was. I was talking about the fucking the Unlali kid.
Do the roar. You do the roar, cookies. I want to hear it.
Actually is doing.
I thought she was talking right now. It was a woman.
4 out of the last 6 presidential elections, the state of Wisconsin was decided by less than 1%.
No.
I feel like that pit in your stomach, no matter what side you're on tonight, as you look at the map coming together, a very competitive race, and it would look
There
like
it
Rick,
is.
if the Harris campaign has
shit.
a path to 270, it's looking more and more
What's
like
happening?
it's got to be through that blue wall, the Rust Belt, and Wisconsin. Let's take
Blue wall and the Rust Belt in Wisconsin is coming down to that. Iowa's looking like it's going for Kamala right now, 53% to 45.
Oh yeah, the middle of the country is going to start coming in. It's 8:50. It's 50 minutes past election closing time.
Yeah, and these are the first numbers we're seeing tonight. About a quarter of the vote in. Big caveat: we don't know.
You're gonna
exactly
start
what
getting that
count it
blue
is. We think a
wall.
lot of this is actually election
This is gonna be
voting.
fun. This is where Trump and all of his people are gonna be like, the election was rigged. I won.
They're taking it right from us.
That's right.
Like candy from a baby.
Pretty close to what we think.
Here she's starting to pull in. This is the first one I've seen. She's ahead.
With about 40% of the vote in. Madison is just a huge
Yeah,
vote
Madison,
engine,
that's
for Democrats. She's
that's a
getting
lock.
close to that 538 benchmark, but not quite there. Running a little.
Madison, are they doing New York?
Biden's, Biden's numbers from 4 years
Oh,
ago.
Michigan.
But here's some big news, and hat tip to Reince Priebus, Mr. Wisconsin over there, for highlighting some of this. In Kenosha, which is a swingier part of the state.
Kenosha, that's
Democratic
also
majority
where
just by
the
50%,
Kyle Rittenhouse incident
50.7%
happened.
last time around. He's up
Oh,
7
Trump's winning
points.
there.
Harris down 5 points from where
What if
Yeah,
Trump
surprised.
loses and he just
significantly
retires and
below
doesn't
the
fight it?
benchmark.
That would
This
be
is what we've been
crazy.
looking for
Look,
as
that
well.
would be
The Western
something that would
Politics,
shock me.
South County. Again,
I'm just
Harris a
saying.
little below the benchmark.
No, there was
And,
literally
up
fucking,
here,
what was it, his most
Door
recent
County, this is
rally
one
in
that people love to
Michigan,
talk
and
about.
I actually have that video up
Type county.
on one of the tabs. He was
Right now,
basically talking about, it's like,
up in
yeah, I
the
think after this I might
we're
just,
not
you
talking
know,
about
wrap
huge
it up.
numbers,
It's
but
just
as
a
the numbers
lot
come in,
to have
we're
to
seeing
deal with.
Trump
And he just
leading
looks
it now.
tired.
Waukesha
Mhm.
County, which is
He just
that's
looks
still
fucking tired,
Trump
man.
just slightly
Yep.
below the benchmark. A lot of votes.
I don't
He
know
prob-
how he does it.
Got less
The
than
man lives
50
off fucking
in a lot
quarter
of it is gonna
pounders
be the
and
early
Diet
vote,
Coke.
but it looks
I
like it's gonna
don't
be a
know.
tight race.
And everybody's
has any
approval.
energy.
Right, David, especially if Georgia fades a little bit toward Donald Trump and North Carolina trends there as well. That really leaves.
Yeah, no,
Harris
that would
with
be crazy.
path that you guys were just talking about. That includes Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, all of which he's leading now, at least numerically.
But it's not an easy path, you know, if that's your only path. And Wisconsin, I took note of
So-
all the counties you just showed. She's almost hit
I
a
wanna
mark
see
that
something
Donald
here.
Trump is
Okay.
surpassing
Because
her.
let's say
Small counties, we're not talking
shits
about
and
huge
giggles
amounts of votes, but in
somehow,
every one of those counties
some
you just
way.
showed, Donald Trump was slightly above his
She gets
benchmark
Georgia,
back
North
in each of those
Carolina.
Wisconsin counties. Let's go to Deborah Roberts, who's on the ground in Wisconsin. Deborah, what authorities
Wisconsin.
telling you there?
Okay, so that's still good. That's still good. That's still 277 to 261.
Will keep us on the edge of
Okay.
our seats until late into the night.
But if
because
she
as
gets
you mentioned,
Michigan,
those late,
that's
absentee
it.
ballots tend to come in a little bit later, and that happens in
That's-
Milwaukee.
If
Yep.
things stay the way that they
Absentee
were in
ballots.
2020
But
and
where
just
I
those
am here
things
tonight
change.
in Madison, which
So
is
she
the
loses
university
Georgia.
town, might be the one place that Harris may be
Yeah,
able to
if
make
she
a
loses
bit
Georgia
of,
and
good
Michigan.
news,
one
because
of-
the
one of these two or
University of Wisconsin is
both.
here, and those young voters, those first-time voters, tell me today that they're really energized. I spent the
Damn.
morning at University of Wisconsin.
So then, yeah,
in,
that's
the
what we got to
classroom of
keep an eye
Professor
on: Michigan,
Allison
Wisconsin,
Crash.
and Georgia.
She teaches a presidential rhetoric class.
Yeah.
and the
No,
students
and you know
are
what,
really
California, you bring up a
energized
good point because
over
this
the
is
last
something I was going to be
weeks
talking
because
about
they just
soon
didn't know
too.
what they were hearing
I
from the
think
Trump campaign.
I think
Also,
Democrats
that
think that they have this shit in lockout here. I think I feel like Democrats feel like based off of 2020, they're going to be able to hold this shit on lock, but I don't. Honestly, I see Arizona flipping to red.
I could see it.
And I can also see Nevada flipping red too,
I
because a
don't
lot
think-
of people from California had to move, and guess where they moved to?
Yeah, you might be
Because
right, 'cause I
Nevada's a lot
never-
cheaper.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because I think like besides Illinois, I think California, just based off population numbers, had the highest amount of people that left their state. The majority of people from California, they either went here in Texas, specifically like the Austin area, or they went to Nevada, out towards like Reno and shit.
Yep. You're right.
I just
yeah.
no, you bring up a really good point. I definitely think that's
Yeah,
part of
Arizona
the
was,
issue.
I didn't even think about it. Arizona definitely could be a toss-up, but I didn't even think about Nevada and all the people that moved out there and now are the voting base out there as well. So you might be right. Like I thought Nevada would be blue, but yeah, now I'm, ooh.
It's a
Wait, so-
possibility because here's the thing, okay? A lot of people, like for example, the state that I live in, South Carolina. A lot of people from New York, a lot of people from Pennsylvania, a lot of people from New Jersey, blue states, right? Well, the majority of them are diehard Trump supporters.
The key
Mhm.
for Wisconsin right
So
now, though, is
the moving aspect isn't always a good thing. The only double-edged sword of that is that you did have a lot of people who were blue, a lot of people from specifically Illinois
in 2016 and 20
and Ohio
was about
that moved to Georgia that were blue. So that's why Georgia's been getting a little bit of increase. And obviously other blue leaning individuals that have moved there over the past couple years.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's why I was wondering why Georgia and North Carolina were starting to maybe possibly have some blue in it. That makes sense.
Well, the thing is because Georgia for the past 10, 15 years have been getting a lot more high-paying jobs, a lot more high-paying jobs. And a lot of those jobs are involved in tech. Like Georgia is basically becoming almost essentially like Silicon Valley of the South is the
Okay.
best way of thinking of it. Or at least that's my understanding. If somebody else from Georgia or is more aware with Georgian politics, please let me know.
Kayla, are
Um,
you in the chat?
Yeah, Kayla, where you at?
All right. So, okay,
Where the fuck you at?
what was the push factor for people or pull factor for people moving from Illinois down to the Georgia area? Was it just for the job?
For the jobs, there's a lot of different factors, but the majority of it was high tech, high end paying jobs.
Okay.
And a lot of businesses were moving out of Illinois. For Illinois specifically, like moving out of there from people going to Georgia. In Illinois, cost of living, property taxes, things of that nature are really, really high.
Okay.
So you had a lot of people that were leaving the state. That was one of the main reasons why we left Illinois as well, just because taxes were absolutely insane.
Okay. That
And
makes
a lot
sense.
of business, corporate tax in Illinois especially. So you had a lot of businesses that were moving from Illinois. And again,
Okay.
Georgia was a state that was growing
Okay.
economically.
So, go back to the number one. So if Kamala wins Michigan and Wisconsin, but then Trump gets, let's say, Nevada and Arizona, would that make him win? Because like, so what I'm seeing now is a middle of the country battle, and then we still have to wait for the West Coast battle.
So if Georgia stays blue,
Okay.
but Trump wins Nevada and Arizona, he will still lose. It'll be 286 to 252. But
Oh.
if Georgia's lost, it'll be 270 to 268. So Kamala Harris will barely scrape by.
So yeah, the West Coast doesn't even matter. It's still on Georgia or Wisconsin or Michigan. Holy shit.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
that's why Wisconsin and Michigan are probably the two greatest. And I think honestly, like a lot of people are probably are more so leaning towards Wisconsin being of the most important. Obviously, some people say Michigan just because of the electoral number. I think Michigan is probably one of the more important states just because it's going to be a reflection of the sentiment, the anti-Israel sentiment that a lot of leftists have towards Kamala Harris, right?
Okay.
Because Michigan has a very high
Muslim
density
population.
of, yes, exactly. And so that was one of the things why recently, funny enough, Kamala Harris kind of started walking back some of her rhetoric in support of Israel when she
Yep.
was rallying in Michigan.
Yep. Somebody brought that up to me like recently about that. Like I heard she said something about good about Palestine and that it's what were the words she used? Devastating and depressive. And I was like, you see those words that she's using right there? They're fluff words, and that's all she's doing is she's trying to get votes right now in a certain area. So she's gonna say those words, but all it is it's devastating to her. She ain't gonna do nothing about it. She's just getting votes.
I hope you'll
Yep.
stay with ABC News. Our team is bringing you election results all throughout the night.
All throughout the night and going. Let's watch Fox. Let's see what Fox is saying right now.
All right.
Let's see what
Oh,
they're
this is
saying.
gonna be good. Fox.
Element of surprise. Surprise.
Yeah,
What's going on, everybody?
surprise. Hello.
Hello. Cece, thank you so much for that raid. We're kind of doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking politics and covering the election live. I know, nerd shit. Run for the doors. Nerd alert, nerd alert. Cece, thank you so much for that raid. I hope you had an amazing stream. Okay, why can't I hear anything? Why is this not playing? What is this? What is this?
Is that all they're showing?
That's what it feels like. And I don't have the site muted. Russia for Trump 2024. Okay, let's look at some of these top chats. This is actually really fucking great. I love this. The minds of people who comment on YouTube. You know what I mean? The people that we really need to listen to. Fuck listening to like politicians or, anybody else, people in real life. Read the YouTube comments if you really want to know how people think.
That's right.
Let me give you a quick shout out there, Cece. What were you playing? How was it? Okay, why can't they do it? It's not popping up for me. Well, if anybody can find the live feed where they're actually talking,
Look at it.
that'd be fucking cool. I'll be out online. Nice. Oh, you know what's funny? This is interesting. They're focusing. Oh wait, never mind. They're cycling through. I was about to say, why are they focusing on the other races? Yeah, look at this guy. He knows what's up. Why is there no sound, dude? Yeah, what the fuck's up with that?
For real.
No fucking sound.
Blue wall that the Democrats are hoping to keep. 15 electoral votes. Kamala Harris with a lead over a former President Trump. 466.
All right, let's go back to this map.
Is 419,000. Just 16% of the vote in it.
Yeah, something tells me Georgia's gonna fall red. Democrats have kind of flubbed and pissed off a lot of people, especially when you think back to things like Cop City. And just the animosity that was shown towards Georgia post-election. Something tells me Georgia flips red. Earlier, California had brought it up. I think these states turn red too. But if that's the case, you gotta hope that this remains. That a random state like fucking New Mexico or something doesn't flip. Oh, okay. So Kamala just got 290.
7 states in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump winning 17 states. 172 electoral votes for him, up to 91 for Kamala Harris at this hour. Our coverage of the 2024 presidential election.
Check out what Editor Dimensions had to say.
This is an ABC News special.
The rural shifts towards Trump in states like Georgia should not be killer for Democrats. Warnock saw the same thing in 2022. Managed to overcome the metro areas shift in 2020. Kamala just isn't seeing what he saw among the base. Not enough Cheney fans, it seems. Yeah. Yeah, how fucking great did that work out? How fucking great did that work out?
Welcome back, ABC News live election night headquarters here in New York City, and we are getting not only numbers in, but more.
I thought Stacey Adams always delivered. Yeah, no, exactly, dude. Stacey, dude.
Well, so interesting enough,
wasn't Stacey Abrams
really
or Adams?
The Latino vote. We've seen that really ratchet up, in particular in recent weeks.
Oh shit, cry boot it.
Equally,
What's going on, brother?
Pennsylvania recently, just last week, and he said, "I love the Latinos." He was in New Mexico.
I love the Latins. I sure do. We had the best burrito bowls in Trump Tower.
When it comes to Donald Trump, if you look at the race in Nevada in particular, the Latino
okay, you're right. I missed time moment. All right, I just want to make sure. I was like, man, am I having a brainworm? Am I having an RFK moment? Yo, speaking of which, you guys see the report about a dolphin that was mutilated, washed up on shore in Florida? Pretty sure we need to find out where RFK's been.
Oh, actually, I'm
Oh.
sorry. That's in Arizona.
Sounds like his kind of work. You know what I mean?
Yup.
And I saw the dolphin. I should. Okay, I'm sorry. That's ableist. I shouldn't do that.
If we want to look at that board there in Arizona, Kamala Harris getting 55% of the Latino vote. They make up more than 1/4% of the population.
Oh,
in
Arizona.
Donald Trump getting 41%. But in both cases, he's doing much better. Trump 11 points better than he did in 2020 in Nevada.
Yep.
And again, 4 points better than he did in Arizona in 2020.
Oh, what's that? Trump's doing better? I wonder how that could be. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jimmy?
No, I mean, Kamala's just been uber progressive and just sticking to the left so well. I just don't understand what she did wrong.
Absolutely not.
Right? Like, obviously, the voting populace has somebody that they can turn to that isn't Donald Trump, that doesn't do their policies.
Mm-hmm.
And even those Democrats who were out canvassing for Kamala Harris knew that was an issue. Like, how do you explain to people the economy that...
Look at this bitch who's married to the fucking Crypt Keeper knows it.
We tell them it just takes
He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Like, I'm sorry, like, come at me if you want to, but dude, come on, man. If she gets it.
In the country, they were devastated.
Kamala was fucking weak.
And that is the issue. You know, you can talk about exaggeration. You can talk
and this is the thing, and I talked about it with my brother. I've talked about it with you, Jimmy. I think the most frustrating thing for me with the Kamala Harris campaign was the fact that when they picked Walz over Bashir and over the fucking over Shapiro, the guy that Fox News, for whatever reason, really, really wanted Kamala Harris to pick because, he's a really good guy and he could help them when it comes to Pennsylvania, right? That's been part of the rhetoric that's been coming coming in from, Fox News like, oh, Kamala Harris didn't pick Shapiro because he's Jewish. And, this is going to come back to bite him in states like Pennsylvania. But ultimately, Shapiro is more representative of the way that Kamala Harris is campaigning, as to where the Walz pick and the Bashir picks were more so saying to people that are like-minded to us or us in general that, hey, we're willing to work with you guys. We're willing to reach our hand across to you instead of across the aisle, right? That's what that pick signified. That's what vice presidents are supposed to instill in the minds of the voter, right? Like, the vice president is going to be the counterbalance to the presidency and allow for negotiation. So it's like, fuck yeah, like, we're actually going to have like a seat at the table. Do we get listened to? Probably not, but we at least get a seat at the table. It's at least something. It's something to start off with, something to build off of, right? Some sort of power that's actually tangible. And ever since the DNC specifically, they just continue to move further and further and further and further away. And the momentum that the Democrats had from not having a fucking weekend at Bernie's corpse up on stage talking about we defeated Medicare. They had someone who was younger, who was a little bit more competent, and somebody who was at least unknown enough to where it was not understood what their policy was, right? Like, it was still vague. Like, yeah, obviously she was in the Biden regime, but like, she was kind of tucked away and put away in the corner, not necessarily to do anything to gain political points or like astute a career. And then she was just kind of thrust into it. So it's like, okay, the Democrats are desperate. Maybe this is the time. And that's why as much criticism as people have for like people like AOC in the squad, I thought it was actually somewhat smart for AOC to be like, to recognize the moment and understand that, okay, the Democrats are in a very weak position. And if there's ever a time that you can negotiate for power or get a seat at the table, it's now. And I don't fault AOC or any of the other self-proclaimed socialists that are part of the party at all for trying to seize on that moment and trying to work alongside with the nasties of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, and as Martha was talking about what she saw there in Nevada, I was thinking about what I saw personally here in Pennsylvania. This is Berks County, which includes Reading. Donald Trump has a campaign office here.
Yeah, I don't hold it against her either. Like we were talking about earlier, it's a whole beast once you step inside City Hall. It's hard not to become a part of it.
We are going to see this split screen because you have Donald Trump.
Tyler, you said she could still get it. Dude, no, dude, and that's part of the appeal with Kamala too, right? Like, she's attractive.
Where the economy just matters so much. They're still dealing with high poverty.
Yeah.
Take a look at where Donald
And it sucks because if she wasn't just so fucking focused on kissing the ass of Israel, she could easily have won this. Like, they could be calling this shit now, like, yeah, it's
Right,
it's
her
done.
the one red line so many of us had, just not indiscriminately support Israel with no morals or anything. Just the supporting Israel part. Like, all we wanted, I mean, you could have like even said like, I feel bad for Israel, but just add in like something for Palestine, just a smidgen, and we would have given her a fucking chance. But she didn't even dangle fucking like crumbs in our face with that. Like, she just said straight up like, nah, I support Israel, and we're that like, she fucked herself because of it. I
Well,
could have
and
dealt with
that
them not
was
saying that Republicans are weird and shit, but that ruined it for me for sure.
no 100%, and that was kind of the start, the avalanche, if you will, right?
Right.
Because then not only was it just the siding with Israel, but you also saw her go back on things like Medicaid and Medicare for all, right? She completely walked that back. She completely walked back immigration policy and turned around and tried championing a bill that the Border Patrol and ICE agents endorsed. Like, I'm sorry, if
Yep.
you think I'm going to champion a bill that's endorsed by two of the worst fucking agencies, then like, you got me fucked up, right?
Mhm.
And I think those three issues, because one quarrel that I have, and I think it's important for a lot of people to remind, especially the annoying liberal that's in your life, is you'll have Kamala Harris supporters who'll be like, oh, so you're not gonna vote for her for one issue, but everything else is just whatever. It's like, no, you fucking moron. It's multitude of things that she walked back on. Because let's not forget either, the Kamala Harris and Walz campaign also turned their back not just on immigrants, not just on people who are Muslim or from Arab countries. They did not just turn their back on people who were wanting, if anything, an expansion of Obamacare, right? If anything, at minimum. And what do we get?
The same old, same old.
Well, and not just the same old, but what the Republicans were offering. And there's nothing to fall back onto. And that's why I was trying to say to Minxie earlier, I don't know if Minxie, if you're still in here, that's why, like, this idea of a blue tsunami or a blue wave just doesn't appeal to me, because there's nothing that Democrats can stand on. I forget who it was in particular, but they were talking about the fact that in 2016 and 2020, there was a lot of people who voted for Trump that were ashamed to admit it. As opposed to in this election, a lot more people were ashamed to admit that they were voting for Kamala Harris. And why do you think that is? It's because she ran a weak campaign and didn't. The people that she catered to were Dick and Liz Cheney. In a time where there is an insane amount of Islamophobia, you try to campaign with two people who were responsible, directly, indirectly, of the massacring and raping and genociding of millions of people from the Middle East. Millions. I just want to get caught up on chat. Sorry, I'm all over the place. If I'm doing too much, just tell me.
I can tell you are
Beacon dust off the
definitely
brakes.
excited to be talking about this. This is fun.
They hit the walls. Miss y'all, dude. Yeah, dude, Tyler, we definitely need to catch up, man. And yeah, Jimmy, like I said, if I'm going too fast or doing too much, just tell me.
No, you're good. You're good. Dems don't have
Let's
to
talk about
dangle anything. You're right.
They
But
thought
that's-
picking up the neocons would make up for the left. Seems like it won't work out. Exactly.
Yep.
It's almost like when you capitulate to the right, that they don't do anything in favor of you. They just do more of what they want. It's crazy, right?
Right. Like I was saying earlier on the other show, it almost seems like they are controlled oppositions for each other to make sure that the duopoly stays in place at all times.
Exactly.
It feels right. Y'all, I got a fucking I made a pot of coffee and I filled up a Kool-Aid pitcher with it and put a bunch of creamer in it, so now I can refill my cup with a pitcher.
Oh shit.
A fucking Kool-Aid pitcher of coffee. I'm on this shit tonight. It's going down like your self-esteem at the beach.
Damn right.
Damn right.
And by
But
the
you
way,
guys, I would just want you all to know I am not a Kamala supporter. Trust me. Promise.
yeah, no. Sleep hard, the Joe Biden story. That's my fucking. That's gonna be my fucking story later on tonight after covering this shit.
For real. Oh, thanks. I'm gonna do the same for you. How do we do that?
Yeah, make sure you guys go drop a follow for Jimmy. That's who I am co-streaming with. We are sharing chats. I think in the future we're gonna have a lot more, not necessarily scripted, but a little bit more organized. This was something that, because of schedules and me having a kid, it was really hard to get everything ready and organized. But it was something that I definitely wanted to do. And if there's anything in particular that you guys have, like if you guys have any videos or anything that you would like me to bring up, please share them in chat. Post the links in chat. I think if you're a VIP or a mod, you should be able to post a link and we'll click that up and we'll check that out. If there's anything in particular, even if it's just like a Twitch, Twitch video,
Yep, same with my chat. If you guys want us to watch something, I know California always wants people to watch shit. So if you got anything, throw the link up in there, and I will make sure to
Oh,
put it up. To Cookies, can
yes,
you help me
actually.
with the shout out thing on my thing for Hirsch? Because I don't know how to fucking do it. Just, I see you,
Sensor Girl,
Sensor
I
Girl.
hate you. I hate you, dude. If you did that, I would literally burn you with an easy bake oven.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, so honestly, look, at the end of the day, to go back to what you were saying before, I actually want to turn something towards you, Jimmy, because you brought up something that just made my mind click.
Okay.
Definitely not a Kamala Harris supporter here. And this was something I was talking about earlier. I think one thing that often can be overlooked, and for obvious reasons, a lot of times as a leftist, you understand that politically your morals and ideology are not going to be represented in government. Most people who are actually leftists, whether it be socialist or communist, are not going to be allowed to be put in a position of power. We've seen that time and time again. Bernie Sanders is one of the most recent examples that I can give you when it comes to like a large platform. So it's just not going to happen. If they can do that to a man with that large of a platform, imagine what they could do to somebody with a much smaller platform. However, I think the understanding is that when we vote, we want to try to find people that most represent our ideals and ideology, and if not, at the very least, somebody who can at least be susceptible to the social and political pressure that is applied to them from the outside.
Yes.
And that's the way that I look at it. Even with that being said, I did not vote for Kamala Harris or Trump. I did not vote this election. I did that more so as a protest, just because I'm kind of upset and disappointed with the system. I am going to be voting in local elections in the future. I sat this one out because just pure spite and frustration. People can judge me all they want to. That's fine. But ultimately, the state that I live in is it was going to go to Trump anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Same. I am one of these statistics of America who can't either get to a voting polls or get to my post office to get my thing. So not only did I kind of slightly do it because I was kind of pissed off, but also at the same time, I'm really upset that I couldn't vote for local elections, and because I couldn't. So thank you, America. Thank you, Joe Biden. I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Joe Biden. No, I
Thanks,
was
Joe
going to
Biden.
ask you really quickly, because I know that there were a couple different propositions. I know one of the propositions out there was having to do with water distribution, and
Oh.
God, that was one of them. The other one that I'd seen had to do with medical resources to the community. Like basically, if you voted yes, I think it was like Proposition 34 or Proposition 36. I can pull up a video in a minute. But it was basically saying, the money that is given to these medical insurance companies or just medical companies in general, should all of the money and all of the services be given to all the patients, or would you vote no to where they still operate under the code of law what it is currently, right? And like that was another one of them, and I was like, damn, like so basically the law is set up right now where like if you sell or rent out medical gear, or if like you provide medical services, like you can just fucking basically be a shyster. Like that's
Yeah,
crazy.
pretty much. We had a vote about this a couple of years ago with X-ray machines as well. It's like they have privatized the usage of these machines and things like that in hospitals, and so the government gives them some type of free welfare money because they're helping the community by using it in the hospital, but they'll only give those hospitals a certain amount of number and the hospitals need more. So there's just been this infighting between all of that of like who is what or what hospitals get to use these machines, how many do they get to have, who doesn't get to have them, how much money are they getting for it. It's the privatization of the resources in the medical field has gotten absolutely ridiculous here in California. It's pathetic, really.
It's a
I'm trying
D dog. You're delusional. Shut up, Tyler.
I'm trying to look at all
Sorry.
of them. So we've got
I have a video up right now. It's actually about California
Perfect.
Propositions 2024 Explained.
Perfect.
It's a 26-minute video, so let me know when you want me to pause it and all of
All
that
right.
jazz.
Alum Rock and San Jose say they desperately need the help, not to build state-of-the-art buildings, but simply to add maintenance to the old classrooms they currently have.
We're not in a position to be able to just rebuild the new schools. We just don't have, we're a working class district. The assessed valuation for our properties limits what we can ask the voters because of maintenance.
This is Goss Elementary in the Alum Rock School District. It's considered one of the newest schools in the district because it opened in 1980, 44 years ago. So the maintenance and repair calls are frequent.
In the past, gone out there and took care of the piping, and then still, nevertheless, we still continue to get concerns and they have to be addressed.
Which is why board member Andres Quintero is pushing for Proposition 2. Prop 2 would raise $8.5 billion in bonds for schools statewide, another $1.5 billion for community colleges.
Prop 2 does allow us to go ahead and take what we can raise from the voters locally and then draw down some resources
What we can raise from the
state
voters
bond
locally.
in order to be able to meet the needs of the district. So
Right.
it
So
stretches the
low income
dollars that we do
communities
have.
are still not going to get enough money. High income communities are still going to get the same. Dude, our schools are literally falling apart out here. Our colleges, our high schools, our middle schools, everything is falling apart, all the schools. And I swear to God, we just voted for this 4 fucking years ago. I am literally pissed off at even hearing something like this. Again, more money just needs to be allocated to all the schools. Just fucking stop basing it off of the income in that area because it's seriously not even fucking fair anymore. It really isn't. This is just another thing for us to vote for that is just going to allocate more money for CEOs to take bits and pieces and not give it enough to the low income schools because the taxpayers can't afford it. There's no difference. Not going to be any different.
So you said that was a proposition that they'd already tried passing before, or that they did pass.
Giving or finding new ways to give schools money out here is every 4-year thing that we have to figure out, whether it's hospital equipment and funding for schools, whether it be the infrastructure of the schools, the pipes, or something. But every 4 years after we've already voted to help them out and it passes, another one of these props come out again. It almost seems like a money grab, possibly, for these rich people somewhere.
Okay, and then one more quick question before I resume. So my question would be then, is there like any sort of like charter schools? Do you guys have like charter schools and shit that are set up out there that kind of fuck with the allocation of money? And how do the private schools work?
I think back in my old hometown, yes, they tried to do that, but there wasn't enough students. The buildings that they used were like those little rented ones in a shopping area, so they were really small, maybe 150 students. Nowadays, I don't see any charter schools whatsoever, and the private schools out where at least I'm from are all religious Christian schools. Yeah, Pentecostal Christian. So those are all the privatized schools. They're in gated communities and rich areas and shit like that. But the public schools, they have gates on them with security and police officers out there all the time. And yeah, it's just like that out here. It's yeah.
I figured out as just because like when it comes to California, like especially like a lot of local politics, California kind of sets the bar for what's allowed and what's not allowed. So I just wasn't sure, being stereotypically blue, if they
Yeah.
would allow charter schools or not.
They definitely do. I remember I did a charter school when I was in junior high or high school for like 6 months, but I know that school's not around. And plus, not only do they have just charter schools, but if you like get in trouble in like a regular public school, they have alternative schools usually attached to the high schools for the bad kids. And so it's just them going to school all day, but like kind of sitting in detention all day long during school hours every day. And it's called an alternative school for the bad ones.
Okay. Yeah, because I had to go to an alternative learning environment to graduate.
Okay.
But
Yep.
honestly, that was fucking the best thing for me. That's a whole different story, though.
Right.
Defending education is something of the elites. Most definitely. Tin hat stays on.
And the charter school helped me out immensely. I mean, I was behind on credits and shit like that, and I was able to catch up and be of grade, in 6 months because of a charter school. So it definitely helped. But I just don't see any kids in charter schools at all. A lot of kids are doing
Charter
homeschool
schools
now
are
too.
such a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they promise you like $5 a credit if you graduate from there. So it motivates the kids to want to get the credits done and graduate early. But if something happens and you go back to regular school and you don't graduate, you'll never see that money. So it's like a lot of empty promises.
Yeah. Oh, and I think you meant defunding education. No, 100%. I mean, I think it's pretty evident just exactly how the education system's been treated. I think one of the biggest examples that I'll point to real quick, when you think of schools, the first programs that were cut and that were taken away all had to do with arts, whether it was performative arts or just your classical arts, okay? And when you remove things like that, that's when you remove creativity, that's where you remove free thinking, that's where you remove problem solving, lots of different values for young growing adults to use and take use of, right? Like that's part of the whole point of school. Obviously, school is, where you're supposed to learn, get education, but you're also supposed to learn how to navigate through things, right? And that's definitely one of them.
Right. Cookies is a great example for that. From him being in Australia, they don't have those electives as we do here. And he was just talking about that the other day.
Yeah. No, I'll go back to the video. By the way, this guy's a Libertarian Party member, in case you couldn't tell.
Looks like it.
Concern we have from a libertarian standpoint is that bond measures like home mortgages, they are very deceptive because they tell you it's $10 billion. But what is it really going to cost? By the time you add in principal and interest for 30 or 40 years, it's probably going to be more like $18 to $20 billion.
Mark Hinkle says declining school enrollment in the state ought to nullify the measure.
So why are we investing in more buildings for schools when the enrollment is dropping precipitously?
Quintero says he wishes a proposition wasn't necessary, but in a district with low property tax revenues and aging buildings, Elm Rock says that schools need all the help they can get.
Someone said my name, I could sense it. My Aussie sense were tingling. Yeah, buddy, we're talking shit.
That's right.
It was
Okay,
just
so
beautiful.
pop
I mean,
three.
everyone came from everywhere.
Scenes of a wedding.
My best friends, obviously.
October 5th, 2013.
People from all over California.
A day that Shay and Yolanda Franco Clausen had long dreamed of.
Oh, this is the gay marriage ban.
The wedding day marked
in
their
California
10-year anniversary together.
It was just beautiful. I mean, everyone came from everywhere.
The couple was on the sidelines in 2008 when California began issuing same-sex marriage licenses, only to see that halted 4 months later when California voters approved Proposition 8, a constitutional amendment that barred same-sex marriages. In 2013, a Supreme Court ruling overturned Proposition 8 as unconstitutional. Several months later, Shay and Yolanda tied the knot.
This commitment was about making sure that two people, doesn't matter their gender, doesn't matter their race, what they look like, can legally be together.
Although Proposition 8 was nullified by the courts, it remains part of California's constitution.
It's still on the books that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Franco Clausen is now part of
Dude,
the effort to...
I'm sorry, but like, it's so. Look, we're in 2024. The fact that we still try to operate on a system of being like a Christian nation and enforcing those religious morals on people who don't even, subscribe to that fucking ideology is just stupid. It's just fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
I agree. I can't wait
and-
for us to start thinking that normal people just start thinking that anybody who believes in gods are like seeing invisible things and they should probably go to a psych ward because that's crazy think.
Well, it's obviously like utopian thinking, but I just look forward to the moment where people understand that like the religion is just a tool that's being used as an excuse to just masquerade hate. And to where people can finally just get to a point. That's why I love to navigate it back to Walls. Like, that's why I love Walls, because he was just like, yeah, these dudes are weird.
Yep.
They're just assholes. They're weird and they're unlikable. And it's
Yep.
like, yeah, no, that's exactly what that's what these people are. Like they just fucking they're miserable and they want everybody else to be fucking miserable. That's
Yep.
why they get upset about trans rights. That's why they get upset about gay rights. That's why they get upset about fucking people that are fleeing nations that are affected by fucking United States foreign policy trying to come here to have a better life. They get fucking mad at them too.
Yep.
Like it's dumb.
Yep.
It
And y'all want to
passed
say
Proposition
California is
3
fucking
this
liberal. Look at
November,
this.
a constitutional amendment that would repeal Prop 8 and declare the right to marry as a fundamental right.
This is going to overturn Prop
That's going to
8
pass no
with
matter
Prop
what.
3 to make sure that we say that marriage is between two people that love each other.
For
That's right.
same-sex couples, the battle is both emotional and practical. When Shay and Yolanda married,
Yo,
they
like really
gained
quick,
many
like,
legal
okay, I
rights.
understand
What
this
it did
is
for us
super,
is
super
now-
important. Obviously, it needs to be off of the Constitution, repealed from the Constitution in California. But I swear to God, like shit like this kind of like it almost irritates me a little bit because it's doing is taking like we are already allowed to have, the same sex marriage and stuff like that. It's just taking the words off of the Constitution. And this is the bill that passed the Assembly, then the Congress, then the Senate for it to come up for a vote right now or tonight. But Medicare for all in California went to the Assembly and couldn't even get up for a vote. Like it's like this stuff is so minuscule compared to the real things that we could be voting on right now that don't even get through the Assembly. But shit like this gets through the Assembly, through Congress, through Senate, through the governor, and then we're able to vote for it. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Okay, so I did a quick update. Breaking
Sorry
news.
about my rant.
No, that's great. No,
Let's
fucking,
go.
I've been ranting. It's your turn.
Okay.
Trump is up right now, 198 to 112. Colorado is being called right now for Kamala Harris. She's up 54.8% to Donald Trump's 42.9. So Colorado is definitely going to Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah, kind of
But
figured.
But right now, Donald Trump is okay, Arizona is close. 49.7% to 49.5% in Arizona.
Holy shit.
Wondering if some of that fucking anti-immigrant rhetoric is possibly biting them in the ass.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right because after who was it that did that girl that wore the crazy outfits that won Senate as a Democrat and then went like super fucking
Oh,
lib
Kirsten Sinema.
Yeah, so ever since she stopped being in office, a lot of the migrants, the Mexican community, the Native American community in Arizona has been like full-fledged just going like anti-Republican because of that. Or no, anti Democrat because of it. But I think they're doing more third party. So they might just Democrats just don't have the votes and Trump might win Arizona.
Yeah. So this is interesting right now. In Wisconsin, it is really close at the moment with 51% reporting in. Donald Trump is up 49.9% to Kamala Harris 48.6. This is the nerve breaker right here. Minnesota, only 4% reporting, so nothing to get too worried about. Obviously, as more reporting comes in, Kamala Harris's numbers are going to start jumping up compared to Trump's. But
Mhm.
Trump is up 58.7% to 38.2% for Kamala in Minnesota.
Holy shit. Oh, this
Um,
is fucking close.
Right now in Georgia with 88% reporting, it is still too close to officially call. 51.2% to 48.1.
All right.
That's not good, but it's not terrible.
No.
I think Georgia's going to go red. I'm pretty sure Georgia's going to go red. So
Shit.
let's put Georgia red. Kamala's still winning right now.
Oh.
We'll take Minnesota out of play for a second, just because that's still up in air. So that's 277 to 251 still. Let's see if she gets Arizona. It's 266 to 262. No shot. Then that's going to fucking Oh shit, that's funny. Wouldn't it be Congress then? Like if there's not enough, if neither gets to 270, doesn't it go to Congress or the rep or House? Yeah,
Yeah, House of
right.
Reps. Yep. Yep.
So yeah, and then they vote on it, and then the vice president gets picked too from the delegates. That's fucking crazy.
That's close. 266, 262. That's way fucking close. Yo, could you imagine like a fucking another 2000 Florida, but it's Wisconsin this time? Oh my God, this would be nuts.
Dead. Wisconsin goes red. That's 272 to 256.
That'd be it.
That'd be all she wrote, folks.
Awesome.
All right, let's check to see what the nerds are saying.
Then the opposite.
But just look at this.
Yep.
This is a 1,000-vote race in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you do this to us every time. You're doing it to us again tonight. Between these two candidates, a very close race. Let's look at some of the other counties surrounding Milwaukee.
Yeah, Ozaki is another big one, and we're seeing her just a smidge beyond where she would need to be to make this a 50-50 race. Washington County, she's a little bit below that. Milwaukee, we know that there's a lot of the vote that probably isn't going to be accounted for a while. They had to rerun a bunch of the ballots, an 84,000 vote edge here, more than making up for it. We're also been looking at Madison. That's a liberal stronghold, but functionally speaking, she's not going to get as many votes here in all likelihood as, even though she's getting close to the benchmark, she's not going to get as many votes here as Joe Biden did, both in terms of the margin as well as the total number of votes. You have to just kind of rack it up in Dane County and Madison and Milwaukee if you're going to win as a Democrat in Wisconsin.
You're talking about the University of Wisconsin right here, obviously.
That's right.
I'm just curious because we haven't talked about this yet tonight. I mean, obviously, it's a blue county, right?
God
Let's just look at the
bless
benchmark of Donald
America.
Trump.
Holy snap.
You
73
see
to 24?
Slightly, but that matters on both sides here as they rack up
Oh
the vote.
my
I'm curious,
God.
in university towns, I wonder when we look back, the young male vote from some of these university towns, that was a huge part of the Trump campaign. I don't know.
I was just gonna say the reason I was saying that
Might
is
be part
what
of the
he's bringing up
equation
right
on some of
now.
these university
It's
senators.
a university
Why
town,
should
so
she
that's the
underperform
demographic
slightly
that
from
Trump,
there? She would do well
at least with the male voters,
obviously,
usually does well
she's
on.
ahead by 1,800 votes. Very close race.
But
in
I'm
Wisconsin,
saying a lot of these
these are the tiny
college
little
people are
margins
coming
where
in
they can vote.
hard
And
for
we're seeing that in
Kamala
so
right
many
now
different places,
or
David, too.
today.
We're just seeing places where Donald Trump is
Well, I
doing
mean,
better than
ultimately,
benchmark.
I
Sometimes
think
it's not
anybody
as
who would
bad
ever
as
try to
this
shame
is.
college
If you
students
look at
for
the final
for
votes here,
voting
Harris isn't
would be
close to
fucking,
where
that's
she
cringe
was last
anyways.
time
But no,
around.
that's actually really
A bunch of
awesome,
places
and
where
that's
you're just-
and
you're
that's
not seeing the
refreshing to
Harris numbers
see.
and you are seeing
Yep.
the Trump numbers.
There was
It's
a
very
lot.
striking. There's a similar storyline that's playing out throughout.
I really want to
and
fucking
we're waiting on a lot of vote. We're waiting on all of
see
these
whether or not
Democratic races. It's all there.
Fox News
But it
finally
is
has that
interesting that says, look at a
feed
county
where they're
like
actually
Colorado
talking. I don't know, call me
where,
crazy.
I don't think
the
so. I
538
searched back like a
benchmark would
couple
have
hours
Harris
on
needing
that
to get
video, and
28,
it was just
29
that
points. Not
thing
there, not even
for
close.
hours.
In some of these counties, they're not that big, but
That's
they've
wild.
got most of the vote in already. And you're seeing Donald Trump.
Hold on. Actually, I might be
tick
able to
up a
do
little
something
bit
real quick.
from
Hold on.
from his margins last time around, and that adds up over time, even
Right.
if these
County
aren't
by
big
county.
places.
Mr.
No
Sun
question. Let's
says
look at
Trump is
Allegheny
winning
County.
the popular vote
Yeah, Allegheny
now.
County, Harris is hitting her number almost exactly.
Let's
But
see. Election
again,
day
it's just
falls. The
it's not right now
nation
enough
stands at a
to kind of
crossroads.
outweigh what's happening
These
elsewhere in the
people,
state.
man.
Erie County, which was obviously one of these boomerang counties.
Yeah,
She appears to be
Is this an
holding
ad
on.
for
She's
Trump,
holding
y'all?
We have a lot of votes still outstanding.
Benchmark is here.
It doesn't see where you're from.
Yeah, she's
what
doing
you
well
look
beyond
like,
it, but
Yeah.
there's so
or
much
who
vote
you know.
outstanding, and it's hard to say what it is. Scranton is
Greatness
another
is for
great
those
one
who
to
work
look at.
for it.
Kamala
What
Harris
does
is
that-
not
Keep
quite
moving
where
forward.
538 would suggest she needs to be, not quite where Joe
Greatness
Biden
is
was.
for anyone
A little bit better than
willing
Hillary
to fight
Clinton.
for it.
Meanwhile, Trump, that's look at the
Oh
other side of
God,
that.
you
Trump
guys,
is
you see
better
that?
than he did
Greatness
the
is
time that he
for
ran
anyone
Biden.
willing to fight
So
for it.
123,000
And it's
votes
Trump
separates the two of them.
doing
Donald
the
Trump in the lead in
fist pump.
Pennsylvania right now.
Oh
Michigan,
God.
Yeah, in Michigan, we're seeing a lead right.
I got the Fox. I got the Fox up. Let me know if you can see it on stream.
Yes, finally we got Fox. All right, y'all. Let's bring Twitter down. Put that shit show away for a second.
To former President Trump in 2016.
I just want to see the Fox coverage. I just want to see some of it.
A
Yep.
lot of focus on a poll that shall not be named.
No, let's do it.
Oh, name it.
Oh, are they talking about the Seltzer
We
poll?
talked about it seven times tonight, but anyway, it got a lot of attention. It was a attention-getting poll.
It was
and
ridiculous.
being forecast to be what the Midwest may look like maybe because of a gender gap or whatever she was seeing in her poll, Ann Seltzer, we are now calling Iowa for the former president.
Yeah, I mean, it was, described as a bit of a jolt when it came across. I think all of us, when we saw that, Ann Seltzer, because the reason is she has an excellent reputation. She's called a lot of things well. In fact, she called the Trump lead in 2016 in her polling, and everyone thought she was crazy. She had him like +6.
She's
something
crazy.
like that.
Yo, you notice how they have Trump at 211, 117? I just want to check something real quick.
But this one appears to be a blip on her screen.
Right.
because
What
clearly
does
Iowa
NBC
is
have?
Trump
What does the
home.
actual results have?
Thoughts about what's developing.
Well, according to online Associated Press, it's 198 to 112.
Pennsylvania. If she loses Virginia, Nevada.
And what was their count?
Gives her 50. If she
211,
wins Virginia, gives her
117.
57.
Okay.
She has a very narrow path, as Mark is saying. I think as you look back, and this is a big if here, we talked about it, I think in the last segment, we talked a little bit about the policy here, Laura did. And if she looks back, I think three things, and you said one of them, Kellyanne, should you have chosen Shapiro? If where we're going is
See, I told you. I told you they brought up Shapiro. I fucking told you. I fucking told you. Did I not call it? Call
You
me
called it.
Pastradamus. Call me
You called it.
Pastradamus.
You called it. But this is
I feel
Fox
validated.
saying that, though.
Yes, exactly. No, and they're saying it for a if that's not telling you just how bad of a candidate that guy is.
Yeah. That they're like
Fox wants
sitting,
him.
right? That they're
Yeah,
like, you should have
where
picked
did you
him.
get him? Well, no, it's the same reason why Donald Trump's like, you know what they did to Biden isn't fair. It's not right. He should be running.
Right, because he knew he could win from that.
Sorry about that. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
That's okay. Go ahead. Do what you're going to do. We'll get to Virginia.
Okay.
It just went up 204 to 112.
Run up the Atlantic coast here. Okay, this is Georgia. Too soon to call
112,
yes, 'cause
210.
why can't you call it? There's still some vote out there. The question is, where is the vote?
Okay.
And what's going to come in? Trump's up 3.2 points
I mean,
statewide.
Dude,
Wisconsin.
this
Yeah,
is
there's
fucking crazy.
yeah, they're still
Right
not
now.
in yet. Yeah.
And this is Fulton. Our Fox Insights tell us, okay, this is different.
What are the numbers
This just
saying?
changed from a moment ago. All right. At this point in the night, with 82% of the vote reporting
What's
in
up, Drew?
Fulton County, the largest of 159, Trump's.
By the way, I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's hanging out with us tonight. You guys could be anywhere else watching the coverage, but you're here with us.
Yeah,
We thank you.
County, we
That's
talked
right.
about that earlier. Okay. At
Go
this
fuck your
point
mother.
in the night,
No, I'm just kidding.
Go
Don't.
fuck your mother. Also, make sure you guys every Tuesday check out Bragland on YouTube, or you can check out Deep Dish Jimmy's channel on Twitch.
That's right.
They do a
Stay
show every
high.
Tuesday, political coverage.
That's right.
whole
Stay
nine
high,
yards.
free Palestine, everybody.
The area. At this point, 90% reporting here in Douglas County.
But Nikki.
Harris is doing 2.9 points better
How'd
than
you know?
what Biden did
You got a
4
camera
years
on me?
ago. So there's still
That's
vote
right.
out there too. And I mentioned Chatham County about 2 hours ago. That's Savannah. They
That's
counted 4 years
Savannah.
ago. They're counting slow yet again, but you get a lot of Democratic votes out of Chatham down here on the Atlantic coast. A lot of folks live there too. 5 out.
Okay, muting that for a second. Switching back over here.
Right now for Harris of almost the exact that's left there. Harris right now.
Let's see what ABC's numbers are.
Votes or so. And Wisconsin, again, Milwaukee is just going to be huge here. Madison, most of the vote is already in a heavily Democratic place. Right now, it's only about 3,000 votes as the numbers continue to roll in.
And I know, Rachel, you've been diving into some of these college towns. Actually, this is going to be something we
Here
look
it
at
is.
later. How young voters split if the gender gap was
College towns.
what we think it could be potentially going into election night. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we know Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, quite frankly, trying to get young male
Pennsylvania,
voters to turn
Donald
out.
Trump
Vice
is up
President
right now.
Harris trying to get younger voters to turn out in general. La Crosse, home to 3 different colleges, thousands of students. Let's take a look at how she's
So
doing. here.
PA is still on the map
52%
then.
Of the vote, she's ahead
Yep.
by 3,000, 3,500 votes so far. She's
Oh,
pretty much almost where
man. They're
President
really
Biden
going to
was, with
hold it back
71%
until
of
the
vote in.
end.
Eau Claire, another one. Take a look here. She's still leading in this.
I love
county, ahead by
college.
4,000
I love
I'm just so
drinking.
curious of where she's just slightly under where 538 thought she should be. Can you show us back? Let's go back to La Crosse just for a second.
Jimmy, you got the Ford for a second. I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
Yep, I got it.
Where else were you looking?
All right, bet.
Also in Madison, Dane County, this has high voter turnout.
What
here.
up,
She got 89%
legend?
of the vote in.
What's up,
90% of the South turns out to vote. I
legend?
don't know where that happens anywhere else in America. But
Anybody
she's
want to
leading
admit
to
who they
Milwaukee, and
voted
of
for
course,
today?
Waukesha for former President Donald Trump
Anybody?
going to be
Anybody? Want to
absolutely
throw it
critical.
up?
This just
I
doesn't become
regret
Republican, it
nothing.
has to go
That's
super
right.
Republican. This is really
Or here,
yes,
you know,
super
oh, I can't believe I'm
energize his
about to
base.
torture
And then
my
also,
fucking
you know,
self
Rick
for
was
this,
talking
but
about Milwaukee.
just
Former
for you
President Donald
saying
Trump
that, here,
campaigning here also multiple
I
times.
might need
Look,
to
traditionally, yes, this does
close
go
my
towards
ears. Here you go.
Democrats, of course. Vice President Kamala Harris right now, 66%. Let's see where she is with the 538.
So gross.
Donald Trump,
Just
and I
under that
approve
right
this
now.
message.
But former
There you
President
go.
Donald Trump,
I almost threw up in my
Waukesha
mouth
is
a
where he
little bit
earned
for
the
that, you
most
guys.
votes,
You're
2016
welcome.
2020. The second
You
highest
voted
for him
PSL,
is
no
Milwaukee.
regrets.
So he still has another big
Nice.
score in Milwaukee in
Political.
order to do well.
Wait, wait.
This is
That's
key number at this
the
hour. 6,500
political
votes between them. Donald Trump
socialist.
leading
Whatever
in Wisconsin.
thingy.
We're going to keep our eye on all three of these states. Wisconsin,
Exactly,
Michigan,
exactly.
don't go away. We'll
California,
dive into
you
some of the
missed it. Me and Willie were streaming earlier with the election results, and we had the Socialist Party of USA. So it's PS USA or PS, I guess, Socialist Party or SP. The president and vice presidential candidate on there today with us, going over their party and what they're about to do and shit. So I think I might have found us a new party too. So that's good. Voted PSL today. No regrets. You saw a little bit of it. SPUSA. I was wondering if the USA was a part of it or not. So I just thought it might have been SP. But hell yeah. Okay. Look at this. All right, Wyoming. West Virginia. Damn, that's a big jump. Oh, they got 81% of the votes in, though. God, it's going fast. Man, I swear, news is when I have to watch it normal speed like this because there's just a lot coming in. 57% in. Connecticut is 15% in. 53 to 44. Kamala. Delaware is 99% in. 56 to 42. That's 3 electoral votes, most likely for Kamala. 30 electoral votes for Florida, 90% in, 56-42. That's 30 fucking electoral votes for Trump right there. Illinois, this is the one we were looking at, 73%, 19, 55 to 43. That's still a close one. Can we add Hunger Games music over this? Fuck, for real, right? That's what I'm talking about. I fucking wish. You notice it almost has that, what is it? Almost like the Football Sunday sound to it. Get you all pumped up. Football Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Look.
I will vote.
Fuck.
I
can't believe I did that to myself. That was for you, legend. Straight for you, buddy.
Great. Okay, so what we're going to do in the meantime, we're going to have some fun.
Good.
We're going to watch a Walter Masterson video. Anybody else familiar with him?
Yes. Thank you. Taco, if you're watching, Walter Masterson is the guy's name that I couldn't figure the fuck out who he was.
Okay, so, this is fucking an hour. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but we'll start it off.
We pay the tariffs.
I love him.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us. So who pays the tariff?
They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? Do you believe that? You're so close, which is corporate greed. So in 2022, undocumented paid into Social Security, Medicare, all of that, $96 billion. How is
that? Look at her face.
ITN number.
You guys see her face?
As long as Jesus Christ came to this country legally.
Oh. That was a good one.
I love this. I love this. He's fucking...
He's the best.
He cried, yo, when he does the videos making fun of that Republican who's always eating in a restaurant and shit.
Yep.
Oh, man.
He's great.
That
Him
gets
and
me
his
every
buddy
time.
have a podcast right now. It's fucking hilarious.
They're confused, man. Very confused.
Yeah, so what's one of your biggest issues?
How can you pay for undocumented? What? Dude, yeah, no, she never thought about that shit. She never thought about it, and that's what the best part
Your
is.
t-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the problem. They're not because a blank in USA cost me $20. I can't
It's the
afford
face I
that.
make
See,
when I don't
that's the
care
thing
about
Trump's
something
talking
somebody is
about.
saying, but I don't want to be
Manufacturing, all
rude.
these
Fucking
companies have
facts,
sold out
mood.
over to the sweatshops. If we tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Yo, okay, I just want to say something really quick. I just want to say something. This dude right here is talking about manufacturing and sweatshops. How much you want to bet that he owns a store where he sells clothes?
Oh, with that fucking chain, I'd say 75%. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
We taking bets? We taking bets? Dude, do you need to get a fucking poll going in chat?
For real.
Let's find out.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us. Yeah, anything.
China
Us.
doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
No, it doesn't work like that. No,
No, it doesn't work like
they're
that.
Paying the taxes, man. That's the point of it.
No. See, when
The
when you're
importer.
buying- no, yeah, because you're.
Maybe
when
they
you're
pass
buying-
it on the consumer, but
No. They pass it on the consumer. Like if I'm buying 1,000 shirts from China and there's a tariff on it, I'm paying the tariff.
well, no, whoever's getting it imported in is going to pay the tariff.
Yeah. I'm the business owner. I'm paying the tariff on the imported good. China doesn't pay it. I pay for it.
Well,
Like if I'm the business owner and I buy 1,000 shirts,
I see what you're saying.
China's not Jolly tariffs.
I'm familiar with it, man. I import a lot of shit in.
So I'm trying to
So who
explain.
pays the tariff?
I might be too stoned. Now they're starting to confuse me. Wait.
Do you think that? Do you believe that? No, because I was trying to say, because I sell merch as well.
This poor guy.
I sell you something for $10.
Dude, he sells
right?
merch too.
And then you're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it to him for $20?
Am I going to sell it to him for 20?
If I raise the price $5.
Oh, it's going to have to go up.
Right. So
Yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
My fucking God.
So that's the thing.
He literally walked into it, slammed right into it, and didn't even realize it.
That was the greatest
tax?
exchange ever.
No, it's just going to institute.
He just walks away.
So it's tariffs and sales tax. Because if you make cuts, if you give billionaires tax cuts, then you have to make it up for it. When you make a tax cut, it either means you have to do a sales tax or you have to raise taxes later on.
Thank
That's
you.
just like-
So, okay, that right there is fucking perfect.
Yep.
That is like a great explanation because here's the problem, right? When Trump goes up and he says things like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get tariffs. We're gonna get the tariffs," he never goes into specifics, right?
Yep.
And that's for a specific reason. That's what he's pointing out in this video. He literally just broke it down to a dude who fucking has a merch shop that he admitted to. Okay, score one for me.
Yep.
And he just had them where he's like, "Oh, now I get it. Like that. Okay. Like, oh, it does get passed on to the consumer." Oh man,
Oh man.
that's beautiful.
The math of it all.
This
Gotta
guy's
be
like,
able
"I
to
work
do that.
import export. Trust me, I know a guy." Yeah.
Do it.
Couple things fall off the truck. You know what I'm saying?
Unless the point is to just shut down all types of social services. So my thing is like, you're middle class, you're working class. I'm working class. My philosophy is working class. You invest in the working class, that money goes back into the economy.
Of course, that's how it should be.
Yeah, like the billionaires, they got the Trump tax cuts in 2018. They didn't, the wisdom is, if we give them tax cuts, they create more jobs, they hire more people. They didn't. They just spent more money on stock buybacks.
Yup.
You know what stock buybacks are?
Yup.
Stock buybacks is when a
Sure fuck
company
did.
spends $20 billion on buying its own stock.
Oh, when they deflate the price down, right?
Here, let's actually take a quick little look at Google at how many companies fucking had stock buybacks. Let's just type that into Google, right? How
Right.
many companies? Oh, I can't type. Had stock buybacks. In the first quarter 2024, 1,015 companies reported stock buybacks. This is compared to an average of only 1,033 over the last 10 years.
Ooh, we dropped 15. Mm.
The dollar volume of buybacks quarter one was $236.8 billion, which was an increase in 8.1% from quarter four
Wow.
of 2023. Top 20 companies. Let's see. Top 20 company buybacks.
Yeah, and see
Um,
that $236 billion could have been paid for by these rich people's taxes, and then our fucking national debt wouldn't be all crazy high, and people wouldn't be freaking out about lowering the national debt and forcing us into austerity policies because of it. Sorry, my little rant
No,
again.
no, you're good. No, you're good. But no, just look at this part right here. Top 20 companies. and the S&P 500 accounted for 50% of quarter one buybacks. And also, just keep in mind that those are the same companies that are always talking about they can't afford to hire new people.
Yep. And everybody, just so you know, this is 2024, so not just Trump time, but that's like one thing that bothers me about some of these libs is like they're like Trump 24 or Trump 20 or Trump whatever tax cuts, but like they get tax cuts every year, no matter what president it is. It just depends on whether they get the tax cuts that year. So this is 2024 that these people are doing stock buybacks because of the continuation of tax write-offs, tax cuts, all things given, subsidies given to these companies that are just using that money for these stock buybacks.
Well, it's like, it's the same exact reason why Donald Trump was so fixated on the idea of like getting rid of the death tax and cutting out estate taxes, right? Like he was so focused on that because ultimately when you're rich, you don't want to spend your money. You want to keep it. You want to hold on to it as much as possible. And also, guess what? When you're rich, you know what you really, really love? You love free shit. You love handouts. Why? Because you don't have to fucking spend money. That's why I always get upset when people are like, oh, motherfuckers just want handouts. It's like, dude, everybody wants fucking handouts, man. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, rich people don't ever turn that shit down. Why should somebody who's struggling turn it down?
No.
Because some bullshit concept of pride.
Right. And I hate to stereotype it too, but I mean, in my own anecdotal experience, the more money I've seen people have, the more they ask for free shit, discounts. They'll do, hey, can I have a military discount, even though they've never been in the military, just to have a little bit of extra cash, not to have to pay. So I'm just saying from my own anecdotal experience, I hate to stigmatize and stereotype, but it is true. The more money, the more they want to keep the money and get free handouts. I'm telling you, that's what subsidies are, is free handouts. They just call it subsidies.
Exactly. And it all kind of started with everyone's favorite president of all time, Mr. Ronald Reagan. So shout out to my boy.
Right. The national debt is not the issue. We cannot fathom the amount of money that we owe. But that's the problem, is that's not the money that we owe. It's the money that's already out into existence that hasn't been taxed back yet. The thing is that we can't keep getting taxed through our asses just to pay down this national debt when the elites aren't even getting taxed a single fucking penny, when they're the reason why this debt, this money that's out into existence, is such in a high position right now. And yes, some people are, right. It could be an issue. It is kind of an issue, but it's not our fault. It's not our problem to deal with. It's these people who are getting tax write-offs and, like you're saying, using that as stock buybacks instead of just paying your fucking taxes. That's it.
Just the one thing. But okay, so Drew, and this is not me attacking you or whatever. So if you get uncomfortable or if you feel that way, just let me know. No, you're good. You were fine.
Okay.
I was just saying for myself.
Okay.
Let's say for sake of argument, right, that I'm agreeing with the concept of national debt and that we need to make sure that we're not completely in debt. My question is, why is it when it comes to the idea or concept of helping American citizens that the national debt gets brought up?
Right. How you
But
gonna
when it
pay
comes
for it?
to the idea of safety, in air quotes, whether that be, the militarization of the police force, larger police presence, you name it,
Mhm.
or just getting in war in general, national debt never gets brought up. When it comes to sending money to Israel, national debt never gets brought up. When it comes to sending money to Ukraine, national debt never gets brought up. So my question is, Drew's on an ad, but my question is for people who think that way, if that's the case, if you're really concerned about the national debt, how come the only time you voice that concern is when people are trying to say that there needs to be a larger and better safety net?
Right. That is very true as well.
That's my question.
That's
Okay,
one of
so
the
you're back,
biggest
Drew.
ones.
So Drew, my question to you is, why is it that national debt is only something that is brought up or considered when it comes to improving social safety nets versus police budgets versus defense contracts versus sending money to Israel versus sending money to Ukraine, etc. Like that's my question to you. Operating under the idea that the national debt is a real issue.
Correct.
Because my thing is ultimately the national debt is always going to continue to rise. Why is it going to rise? Because people are living longer, the populations are increasing, you're having things like climate migration where people are having to move from certain areas to different ones, and that includes moving from, South America, some of the African states, numerous examples of climate migration, as well as people who are just political refugees that are trying to seek asylum.
Hmm.
I'll give you a minute to respond, Drew. Is there anything that you wanted to add to that, Jimmy?
No, I'm actually very interested. Absolutely love about talking about the national debt and the economy, and economics. So I'm definitely interested to hear, because you already know my thoughts about it, and I'm pretty sure everybody in my own chat knows my thoughts about it for sure.
How many weeks till we know the results? Serious question. I have a feeling it's not going to be longer than a week. Oh, 214 to 179.
Oh,
Oh boy.
fuck. Wait,
Oh boy.
any of the big states? No, they're still pink. Okay. Okay, so West Coast election polls just closed 1 minute ago.
So right now, Trump only needs 56 electoral votes.
Hi.
56 electoral votes needed for
Okay.
President Donald Trump, while Kamala still needs 90.
ABC just said projected winner Kamala for California. Projected winner for Idaho is Trump.
All right, so let's see. Yep, Idaho, that seems about right on par.
Okay.
Seems about on par.
California took forever in 2020. I'm telling you.
And here's the thing, right? It's only a small percentage that's been counted in.
Yep.
The projections are just going off numbers that they're seeing now and compared to past elections. So there could always be a situation where we have, what we had in Georgia last election cycle where there's going to be multiple recounts, or even in Arizona.
Yeah.
With what's her face, that crazy ass fucking lady, god damn it, something Lake.
Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake, that's right. I was gonna say Ricky Lake, but I was like, no, that's a talk show host. That's
Yeah.
that's
She's
not
got that
her.
short Karen haircut where it's like spiky in the back.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, the inflators.
Oh yeah.
And they
All
buy
right.
their own
Yep.
Walter Masterson.
Yep. I'm keeping my eye on the other stuff too.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not for that.
I'm not for that, man.
Today. So we're talking about. I'm just pulling people.
And
What?
who-
It's a microphone.
and who are you?
I am Walter
Yo, she looks scary.
Masterson. I'm a comedian.
Her
I'm
face.
from big, dirty, leftist New York City.
2016,
Crime
55% of the
ridden,
country
and
didn't
it's
vote. What is it this year?
on
I'd say
fire
closer to like
right
60,
now,
62%.
I love it. I grew up there. How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system for like Medicare, Social Security?
My guess is nothing.
The ones that work for me, none.
So in 2022, undocumented
Oh.
paid into Social Security.
Have a response. Sorry. Okay. Well, there's no possible way for us to pay back even with taxing the rich. Look at it this way. We'll 2 times it, give it to the next person. It'll never be addressed. Taxation is theft. I don't think taxation is theft. I think taxation is necessary. I think the lack of corporate taxation is theft. I think is a better way of looking at it.
Yes. I
Um,
can agree with you that taxation is theft based on the situation of these corporate CEOs not being taxed at all and us being taxed, especially in California, a little bit more than what we should. Yes, I could see it in your way like that. But in an economy, especially a debt-based economy, you need to tax the people to keep inflation from happening, the value of the dollar from from going down. So taxation is technically necessary because we print money with no fucking holdback whatsoever. So for if we just kept printing money every year, the value of the dollar would completely go down. So taxation is technically necessary, but I partially agree with you on the theft part because we're being overtaxed while the rich is not being taxed at all. So yes.
Yeah. No. I think that's a good way of presenting it. I definitely think that um, the average person is being asked too much. They're getting too much of the financial burden.
Agree.
And the problem is not only are we having to pay it through the tax wages that, thanks to Trump's tax bill with it basically eclipsing for the average worker. And then you add in things like inflation. The cost is being passed to us on multiple sides. And that's why nobody has any money in their checking account or savings account. People don't even have $500 in their account in case an emergency happens. I think the number is like 60% of people don't have that kind of money, or maybe it's not that specifically, but yeah, there's just a lot of people who are struggling, and I think that when you say things like taxation is theft, I think it's important to be a little bit more descriptive, because I think it's very I think it's an unfair position just to say ultimately that taxation is theft. Taxation is the only thing that is keeping the value of the United States dollar alive. We don't have the gold standard, right? And that's something that a lot of people, especially that aren't on the left, always like to bring up about currency, right? Like, we don't operate on the gold standard anymore. Well, the standard that we operate on is that we allow a private company to decide how much money gets put into circulation. And that number is based off of the amount of money that the United States government takes in through taxes federally. And it's a comparative notion to ensure that there's only a certain amount of money that's actually in circulation. Because all of us will agree it's a very scary idea that the majority of our money, the majority of our wealth is digital. I don't know about you, but that kind of freaks me the fuck out.
That is the more scary part of the whole economic standard. I'm okay, like what you're saying, just bring back the gold standard, problem solved. The problem with our economy is that we have a capitalistic system, and a capitalistic system means that growth has to have continuous growth. So growth always needs to happen. And since gold is a finite material, it couldn't allow us our economy and to be able to the power to buy things, whether it be materials, labor, all of it. We wouldn't be able to do that if we were still on the gold standard, because you can't have a infinite ideology or belief that or a system that you're using with a finite resource. So taking off the gold standard was actually a little bit genius. It kind of freed our country up to be able to just print and create money and then tax it back later. To be able to open us up to the wide world of buying and doing and getting practically anything we need, as long as we didn't run up the resources. But the problem is that greed kind of took over, and we have pretty much what we have now. But I personally think that the way that we did that, getting off the gold standard, kind of helped us free our economy to have that continual growth that capitalism needs to make itself great.
So my question is, if we're going to even operate off the gold standard, how are we going to afford to pay American workers fair wages to get that gold and extract it?
Wait, say that
And
again?
still maintain. My point is, if we're going to operate off the gold standard, the principle of it is based off of how much gold you have. How much gold do you have at your beck and will, right?
Right.
How much gold? So my question is, because America doesn't really have much gold anymore, we kind of spent a lot of it for our debt with other countries that shall not be named, because that's a whole different thing. But my question is, how are we going to afford to extract gold, to uphold the standard, and pay American workers fair wages to where they're not getting exploited.
Right. So
How will that happen?
that's the question is something you just can't do. You cannot ask for infinite things in a place that has finite resources, because everything you need to do takes resources. And if it's finite, then it's not infinite. It's going to end at some point. So you can't just keep using it the willy-nilly the way that we are. So you can't. Yeah. It's not possible. Say it again, Lupin. No.
And I think the problem is too, at least from my standpoint, okay, when it comes to the national debt, I think it's there's multiple variables that go into a situation of relieving national debt, right? One of the biggest things that America could do to take care of the debt problem is to bring the majority of manufacturing jobs back to the United States. Because one of the biggest issues right now for numerous companies in the United States is that they have to order the goods, the parts, the tools, the machines. They don't make them. They have to order them.
Right.
You can save a lot of money instead of having to have it shipped on a boat or whatever. You can just make it here.
Yep.
And that money stays circulated within the economy.
That's the big thing.
I think addressing the national debt isn't as simple as what a lot of people will make it out to be. And Jimmy, I'm not saying that this is what you're making out to be, but some people will say, "Oh, just tax the rich and then that problem solved." No, that's not problem solved. You have to have higher marginal tax rates. Let's go back for a second, all right? Donald Trump, he loves the old adage, "Make America Great Again." And he specifically is speaking back to certain decades. People kind of make it up in their mind what era that is, but I think we all know what decade specifically Trump is referring to when he talks about making America great again. And the important thing is about those decades is when you look at the tax rate for people who were in the upper percentile, the tax rate was between like 60 and 80% of their income above like $2 million. And during that time period, that's when you saw the great expansion taking place. That's where you started seeing schools being built. That's where you started seeing highways being built. That's where you started seeing hospitals. Like, endless.
Yep.
And how was that? Because you had manufacturing that was in the United States. It was goods being made by Americans for Americans. The money was circulating.
Yep.
The people who had a shit ton of money were paying their fair share, and corporations were paying their fair share. There was no offshore money laundering because that was un-American.
Yep. Well, the corporate CEOs during that time, in their the highest tax bracket, I think they were being taxed at like 92% or something, which was great for the economy, for the regular people, everyone underneath. But they fucking hated it themselves because they weren't as rich as they wanted to be. They had to live like regular schmegular people in a nice little community, but they wanted to be on some castle on the top of a fucking mountain. So slowly but surely, they started deregulating everything. And the tax bracket thing was definitely one of them. Now I think they're paying like what, 15% tops up there, maybe 2%. Some are not even paying that.
No. And Tyler, I want to bring up something that you had put, because I know part of you it's part of it's memeing. That's one thing, that's one mindset that kind of changed for me when I look at crimes, whether it be like bank robberies or even just like shoplifting and shit like that. I no longer operate from the idea that that shit is apparently bad.
Right.
And I can catch slack for that or whatever. I honestly don't really give two fucking shits.
Same.
But I don't really see that because ultimately just knowing plenty of people who really didn't have anything and were never really given opportunities to make anything better. I'm not going to judge somebody that's just trying to survive and trying to eat. And people can try to make arguments like, oh, well, you can't eat purses, you can't eat electronics. No, you can't. But you know what you can do? You can make a lot of money to where you do have fucking money to eat food and do that, and maybe get some shoes that are nice and new that don't have holes in them, or some pants that don't have holes in them. Like, endless possibilities. So no, I'm not ever going to judge somebody for that shit ever.
Hell no. Hell no.
Well, the money, the way it's going, is going to become worthless. Well, I mean,
Right.
money just in general itself is becoming worthless, and that's just more of a reflection of the system that it operates under more
This
than the
phony
currency itself.
the phony inflation bit that the media and corporations like to tell us it is. Instead, it's actually corporate greed. There's no fucking reason why eggs should be $9 and milk should be $9. There's no inflation. It's corporate greed after the pandemic because they got all fucking elitist scared that we were going to start stealing their stuff. So they're like, nope, I'm hoarding it all and I'm charging y'all extra. And I'm going to pretend like I'm the victim. So I'm going to say it's inflation.
Well, my thing is, if it's inflation, then that would be represented in their net profits, right? They'd be making less money. But these corporations are making hand over fist and they're breaking records. So
Yup.
if it's really inflation, then how is that? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
It's not something that ggets fixed in one generation. No, 100%. And that's
100.
politics, dude. That's politics. Like, ultimately, a lot of the stuff that you're voting for, a lot of the stuff that you want politically, is not going to happen immediately. And that's a really big problem for a lot of people that are younger. People want instant gratification. But that's not politics, dude. Shit comes in increments. I mean, civil rights movement is still a thing. People think that that shit ended in the 60s and 70s, but it's still fucking going today.
Mm-hmm. Gay
It's
rights.
increments.
Mhm.
Gay rights is another one.
Fuck.
100%. Trans rights.
Women's rights.
You know, trans rights, since we're on the subject really quick, that's something that's not new.
Right.
Media tries to portray it as it.
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers and TikToks do, but it's not new.
Nope.
Because you can easily go on Google, go on YouTube, go look up the first books and the first university and hospital that was attacked by the Germans during the rise of the Nazi Party.
Yep. First books that were burned. Look up that in Germany.
Yep. And then it'll make you realize what's going on with the rhetoric here in the United States and why people are saying that people like Trump and his supporters are Nazis.
Medicare,
Right.
all of that, $96
Mic
billion.
drop.
How is that? How is that possible?
ITN number.
They don't have a W-2.
Well, they pay into it. These taxes are automatically deducted, and they pay into the system. They don't get Social Security. They don't get these benefits.
The employer pays.
Well, it takes its.
You wanted a 70 Chevelle with the big block? Hell yeah.
Deducted from there. Yeah.
What color?
However payroll goes.
Okay.
Candy apple green?
You know, whatever payroll laws that you and I as civilians have to think. I've said this a lot, and it sounds unbelievable, doesn't it?
It does.
Adam
It's an
Schiff,
issue
senator for
voting,
California.
like one of the biggest
Damn.
issues.
Juan.
Illegal immigration, economy.
Okay.
You know, the cost of living.
Do you like paying a lot for eggs at the supermarket? Do you want? Okay.
And I am right now.
Exactly. 48%.
Rick Scott won again, of course.
Is immigrants undocumented, like that runs the gamut. What?
Explain this though. We've
Ted
had
Cruz
more
is going to win again. That's
illegal
fucking terrible.
immigration in the last couple of years than ever before, and the cost of eggs has gone up. So why wouldn't the cost of all that stuff?
Dems are doing okay in the House, though.
Now we're
with all these employees that are low wage employees.
You are so close.
Yeah, maybe
to the
not.
Point. I really want to commend you right now. There's like just a few companies that sell eggs and they control everything. You're very.
So far, Dems have lost the seat.
Like you're so close. You're so close, which is.
And the Senate and then in the House, they've lost 2 seats so far.
Down and make sure that this is not.
I don't want the government clamping down. I want the free market to do its thing.
The free market did its thing already. There's 3 to 5.
Could you imagine a Trump presidency with a fucking Republican House and Senate? Yo,
That'd be fun.
You sound like a
I
Bernie supporter.
I might kill myself.
Sound like a Bernie.
In video games, y'all. In video
Sanders.
games.
I think you were at the wrong rally. How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into our tax system every year?
I have no idea.
2022, they paid $96 billion
Ew,
into
Callie.
Medicare, Social Security, all of that. They don't get Social Security later on. They'll pay into it. And that's actually what's
Just grow your
propping up
eggs.
our Social Security system right now, is because these people are
Speaking of
paying in
burning
and not
books, I've been
getting
listening to Graham
anything.
Hancock and his
I've heard
theories
just
about
the
the past.
opposite, that they're getting
Goes alongside
everything
lost
there.
history, burning of ancient
Believe it or
libraries,
not.
and well, yeah, I mean, look at the burning of the Library of Alexandria,
mother's
right?
side,
Like, who
when they
knows
came
the
in legal.
countless things that were burned
And
and
here I am.
information that was
Are you a
lost.
dreamer?
The Romans were obsessed with it.
I want to consider myself
Throughout
anything
history,
like that
anybody
because
who
I
was
born
deemed
here.
unworthy or that their God was
But
wrong.
listen, where Trump wants to get rid of that whole
Mhm.
anchor baby birthright citizenship.
Dude, that guy's out there finding so many historical things. Like most of our scientists in school curriculums have been saying that, there's, 12,000 BC, there's no way that humans could have made anything but a fire. Like they were just learning, they were savages and shit like that. And then he's out here finding out, like digging up sites and finding out that like Middle Eastern countries had like computers and shit. And it's just absolutely insane the kind of technology that they even had back then that this guy's finding out. It's absolutely insane.
I am a comedian. I'm a professional comedian. I've been to Hollywood
I hated,
3
but already knew
times.
Callie was going to be blue.
I have
Yeah,
not
I was
been
kind
to
of
a
wondering
Tea
if
party yet.
Callie at least was going to go
it might happen.
blue when it came to
But anyway, we're
presidential
talking
like
about
they normally do,
taxes.
but maybe go
That's
red for
funny.
governor.
Taxes, right?
Yeah,
How
I'm
much do
kind
you
of
think
interested to see who's going to be our governor
undocumented
for sure.
immigrants pay in taxes, like
But I
Social
know for
Security,
the
Medicare,
Senate
all of that?
race, I think you had said that there was the Dem one or the Dems were winning.
Yeah, the Adam Schiff is the projected winner. So that's still Democrat.
$billion
But it's Adam Schiff.
Medicare,
Yeah.
Social,
Yeah.
Social
Yeah.
Security,
Yeah.
all of that. This is giving a lot of like free Palestine right now. Yeah, for sure. Dude, so what do we think? Palestine?
Which I
They
think
blacklist
he's
the guy and
taking.
get butt hurt.
Isn't he taking Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi's spot? No, she's House. Never mind.
And
Yeah, no, she's
I work on
House.
him a lot, but
No,
I think he pays.
and I think one of the reasons why
95, 96.
I like him a lot more than a lot of my counterparts is just because he doesn't do the shit that. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this real quick. He doesn't do the shit that a lot of these, what he gets called as pseudo historians, where they're like, "Oh yeah, man, fucking Middle Eastern people and people from Africa. There's no way they could have built the pyramids. You know what it was? Aliens." Like he at least operates from a thing where like, no, these civilizations were really fucking advanced and full of very smart, well-educated people.
Yep.
And that's just something that, as someone who enjoys history, I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I was hoping you were going to say something about that because I didn't want to go about aliens or anything. But yes, absolutely. He has literally proved that these ancient alien motherfuckers just might be a little bit, maybe a tad racist. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I live in like a building.
It's like, no,
right
brown
over there.
people couldn't make pyramids.
So
Aliens
Trump
did.
is still a
Like,
president.
no, you're just
I'm still curious
just
to see him,
racist.
and I feel like I'm interested in still hearing what he has to say, even if I don't agree with a lot of it.
How does your undocumented friend feel about Donald Trump?
He doesn't like him at all. He thinks he's terrible.
How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay in taxes?
I don't know.
$1.
Exactly. Blacklist guys that get hurt because they don't want to be wrong. Exactly.
$96 billion was paid into the tax system by undocumented immigrants in 2022.
And how much money are they taking from the government in benefits?
But I'm saying these people pay into a system. They're not getting those. They're not getting it back.
They entered the country illegally and they should be kicked out, and all their children and all of them should be kicked out if they
Ugh.
entered illegally.
What a fucking disgusting weirdo.
And they should be sent back.
Undocumented, I would guess 0.
Well, he's a Trump
Like, okay,
supporter.
I'm sorry.
So
I just gotta say this. Okay. The reason I say how disgusting is because the fact that he will sit there and say, as an immigrant himself,
Yep.
that women and children, no, fuck them too. They don't need to come here either. That's at that point, it's not a difference of political fucking opinion. That's just inhumane. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up too. Not to be like all shit Libby, because I hate that. But it's just really frustrating and infuriating to have to hear over and over again the defense of like, oh, well, it's just a difference of opinion. Well, it's like, Yeah, but the opinion is like whether or not people who are immigrants are even human. It's a difference of opinion on whether or not people who are gay or trans should have rights. And those are pretty fucking big opinions.
Mhm.
It's not like what's your favorite ice cream color or flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. What's your favorite movie or anything like that? No, this is people's lives. It's just the
It's
lack of
very
empathy.
prevalent.
Lack of empathy is what it is. The otherizing of human beings, we've just done it really fucking well to where people are doing it naturally and normally now. So, yeah.
You can say that, but people need somewhere to live. What do you mean?
If I ever had
Am I not advocating for people to have safe places to live? For open, like more open ways
to have
to
somewhere safe. It is
citizenship?
absolutely correct for some people to have somewhere safe to live, but with our foreign policies and other places where, if China was bombing us every fucking day, wouldn't you want to go to the place that was the most powerful, but like they were bombing you every day, but they were like the best country in the world and they had ultimate freedom and freedom of choice and freedom of speech. You can carry a gun to protect yourself, but they were bombing your country. Wouldn't you want to go to that country? So that's like the big question about, like, yes, we deserve here in America to have somewhere safe to live, but with our foreign policies, those people deserve to have somewhere safe to live too. And if we're making their place not safe, then the least kind thing we could do is let them come here.
You say that people need something big. I'm talking about the guy in the vid. Yeah, the
In
former
the
guy.
video.
And again, and that's something that always blows my mind too. It's just like at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of interviews with people who were, first generation, second generation immigrants.
Right.
And a lot of them have anti-immigration policy. And this is my thing, all right? It's one way to operate under this belief system that, like,
Okay. Sorry, Drew.
hold up, pause.
I know I
I'm
wasn't
pro.
talking. I promise I'm not starting anything. I promise. I get so
She was like,
passionate.
damn, don't fucking come at me like
I
that.
know. I
No,
get so passionate.
and that's understandable though. I mean, that's just it's more a reflection of the political climate that we deal with, right? Because ultimately, the humanity of people just based off of like where they fucking hit the life lottery, right? Like where they were born, dictates their humanity. And I think that's one of the big things. Like ultimately, like I have friends that I know for a fact voted for Donald Trump. And the reason that I'm still friends with them is that they at least open up and admit to the nasty, vile, disgusting shit. But they say things along the lines like, well, yeah, all that nasty shit, but like, man, my checks, my tax, whatever. So I can't necessarily fault for people for voting for their self-interest because that's what fucking voting is for. It's voting for what's in your best interest.
Yep.
That's the difference. And I think it is possible for those kind of relationships to be had, so long as there's the understanding where it's like the rhetoric and all of the other shit is nasty. If you can at least own up to that and be like, yeah, I wish that shit would dumb down, whatever the case may be, right? At least then it's somewhat forgiving. But when you not only accept it, but buy into it and regurgitate all of the talking points in favor of it, like that's when you lose me. That's when I can't, in my good conscience, be like, yeah, I'm friends with you.
I just don't let voting just be a deciding factor for me and friends. I mean, I think my red line would probably nowadays be like Israel, but like I just don't even talk about any of that with anybody in my life. And all of you guys I hang out with, you all agree. So I kind of put myself into a little jar of safe space. Because we just don't talk. I just don't see the need of talking politics. Like I've tried to do it with my mom before, and it just turned really, 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 really bad. And I don't want to lose my mom over something like voting. So yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of that comes with the fact that regardless of where you come from on the political spectrum, whenever you do have conversations about politics, it's usually about trying to change another person's mind.
Right.
And then you start getting frustrated and then, talk in circles, the whole 9 yards. And
Right.
I think the important thing you can do is actually just listen, right? Like just listen to that person and their viewpoints, what they think, what they believe in. And just at least hope in if anything that they do the same for you.
Right.
And that's the whole key. I myself, I'm a very like abrasive person. I want to make sure the people that are around me don't necessarily believe in everything I do, but at least have the same moral compass, right? So like for me, politically and just, from a moral standpoint, I think that regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless of your religion, you have inalienable rights. You should have rights and access, and not just access, but actually given free healthcare. I think that every person that is an American citizen should be given access and be given free healthcare. And I think people that are trying to immigrate to the United States should be given healthcare as well. Okay? That's my first compass, morality.
Yep.
I think that people should be able to marry whomever they want, so long as they are a consenting adult. That is my other line that I draw.
Yep.
The other line I draw is everybody, regardless of whatever, like you can, it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be wherever you want, do whatever you want, live however you want. I'm not going to come after you. You are not my enemy.
Right.
And that's literally, and like, besides, other things like how you treat, people in general, whatever, like that's where I draw my line. And that's divisive for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how you treat people definitely would be a divisive factor for me too, for sure.
I'm a middle liner. I didn't want to vote this time. I don't like our options either side. Our two-party system sucks literal ass, but I voted. I agree with you on that part.
Yeah.
Two-party system sucks complete donkey dick.
Yep.
If you lean towards the right, it's easy to see that, your party is controlled opposition. And if you lean to the left, it's easy to see that your party is the controlled opposition.
Yep.
And it's really, really frustrating. I myself, I didn't vote.
Same.
I contested this year. I didn't vote for anything just because, I'm a little salty bitch. And I just didn't feel that anybody truly earned my vote.
Fucking slay queen, salty bitches. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Finger
girl.
snap.
That's right.
Pistachios.
Yeah.
Also, I
Fucking
just want to say real quick, this has been fucking awesome.
Hell
The stream
yeah.
tonight has been absolutely amazing.
Good. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. I'm so excited for you to get into like my world of stuff. This is just, oh, this is so much fun. Like you can just find the shit in everything and have fun with it as long as you've got the right people around. So this has been a blast. I just
I'm
love it.
glad that you've been
Today's my
enjoying it
favorite
too.
day.
I felt bad because in the beginning I was just like fucking all over the place.
Nope, you're good. I didn't smoke weed in my last episode or my last show because I was with presidential people. So I was super like just my brain was like turned off for like the first 15 minutes. So you ranting and all of that shit kind of like helped like the gears in my brain go and let me smoke like a bong load really quick so I can get my brain gears going. So I'm good. Thank you for that because now I'm in like full action and ready to fucking go. There was a hot minute there. I was like, I need weed. Holy fuck. You were like showing this map thing, and I'm like, I can't keep up. Oh my goodness. Wait, slow down. But nope, I'm in it now, so we're good. This has fucking been fun. I love this shit,
Yo,
man. Election day is so much fun. It's like Super Bowl Sunday, but for politics.
yeah,
Oh,
for nerds.
yep,
For nerds,
yep.
100%.
I
So
know.
I just want to go over some quick fun stuff while we're fucking around. The numbers right now, 230 to 187, looking like it's in Trump's favor. Kamala really needs the blue belt to come through. She really needs the Great Lakes states to come through, and she really needs Pennsylvania and Georgia. So that's a lot of needs, a lot of wants. And as we all know, if and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry fucking Christmas.
That's right.
Donald Trump 230 electoral votes. Kamala Harris 192. Jill Stein with 0 electoral votes. 0.4% of the vote, only 446,000. Robert Kennedy, 438,000 votes.
Oh.
Chase Oliver, the Libertarian candidate, with 427,000 votes. And Cornel West and Joe Biden write-ins, 213,000.
Oh no. Chase Oliver, he's got 427,000 votes. That's
Yeah,
not too
that's.
bad.
I mean, for a guy that nobody probably even knew was fucking running.
Exactly. Fuck, Trump is at 230. Oh my God. Are we really
Yeah.
gonna have a fucking Trump 4 years?
I
Are we?
mean, it's looking like that. And funny enough, I'm,
Man.
obviously tomorrow I think I'm going to be doing more political coverage. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
be a little bit more organized with some videos ready to pop up.
Same.
I think I did an okay job though, having, the electoral maps and some videos and shit. But anyways,
Bro, you've been holding it fucking down. I'm just over here watching.
hey, that's what I'm here for.
That's
That's what I
right.
do.
That's right.
I definitely will find it interesting because here's the thing. All right. I remember I had a conversation with my brother about this, and I brought up the fact that, like, something was telling me in my gut, just because of Kamala Harris being overall, she wasn't Hillary Clinton level, like, dislikable, but she just wasn't approachable.
Right.
And I think with that, the lack of the blue tsunami that's going to come into effect, I think will put Trump ahead. I was really hoping to see North Carolina, excuse me, flip to blue. I mean, it's close enough to where when the final tally's done, they could do a recount. Who knows? The fact that North Carolina is that close is not necessarily, I think, a reflection of Trump. I think it's more a reflection of Kamala Harris. I don't know about you, Jimmy.
What? Say that again?
I was just saying, I think the inability to close that gap in a place like North Carolina or just any of these states that
Yeah.
are close, it's not a reflection of Trump and what he may have done or not done that was bad. It's more a reflection of Kamala Harris.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Arizona too. Look, it's already leaning red right there. So I cannot wait to hear these fucking MSNBC, CNN correspondents tomorrow morning saying that it was our fault for not going out and voting and not getting enough votes and how horrible this is gonna fucking be. Here we go again. Like, are they gonna call us like Jill Stein bros? What's the new name for us?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't
Non-voter bros?
they don't unfortunately for the Democratic Party, they don't have a third party candidate that's actually viable or somebody that's appealing. So they can't really have the same appeal like, oh, the Bernie bros or whatever the case is. What's up, Sue?
What are they gonna say though? This is literally on her. Oh man. Cookies. I see you, motherfucker.
Hey, what's your fucking language?
Ooh, okay. Oh, okay, Taco. Oh my God, you guys, look at Arizona's fucking turning red. I cannot believe this, you guys. I'm literally gonna cry if we have another 4 years of Trump. I mean, like, okay, it's not as like obviously it's not that bad. It's just fuck, man. As a fucking woman, I
Yeah,
just
well, I
feel
mean, as
bad for my
somebody,
daughters. I have daughters that are becoming adults right now. This is scary.
yeah, no, it's frustrating.
I mean,
Again,
I didn't want Kamala to
as
win either, but this would have been a little bit better if she won. Like, I would have been like at least a little bit okay. But now I'm back to we're gonna go back to 4 years of damage report every fucking day.
yeah, well, and I
Morning
mean,
press briefings.
For the Palestine voters, I mean, if you thought what's happening under the Biden Harris administration's bad, just wait.
Oh yeah, I know. People like say that Trump was like, not that bad and shit when it came to the Israel Palestine thing, but they don't remember
Hey,
a
Faye.
lot of what happened back then. Bye. yeah, they don't remember a lot of when he was already president. Putting that thing in Jerusalem, like he's. I mean, literally, Bibi Netanyahu has spent the night and slept on Trump's son-in-law's bed, Ivanka's husband. The fuck is his name? Fuck, little fucking antichrist bitch. Um,
Oh
Benjamin.
shit.
Benjamin Netanyahu has stayed the night and slept on that motherfucker's bed. Like, you telling me that Kamala is worse for this than Trump? Like, you guys, you're not, man. All right,
Holy
who?
shit, Cookies. Thank you for the 5 gifted Subarino Dinos, my man. Faye, hello. Holy shit, Cookies. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Fucking A. Oh, holy shit.
Aw.
Oh my god. No, to go back to what you were saying. That's dude, you just blew my fucking mind. No, to go back to what you were saying, I think ultimately what's most frustrating is the fact that you had the Democrats had such a golden opportunity. You had Trump, who was one of the most unliked presidents coming out of office. His approval ratings were absolutely abysmal. Okay. And you can't even beat the guy that everybody already experienced over the promise of something maybe better.
Right.
Like, that's just fucking bad. And again, that's a reflection of the failure of the Democratic Party. My brother had brought it up. He had just walked in here real quick. He wanted to say, good job, by the way, which meant a lot to me. He said that we were doing a really great show tonight. So I appreciate
Aw,
that, Stu. Means a
thank
lot.
you.
But he brought up the fact that they're already starting to, call out, the woke people, and they're starting to call out the Palestinian protesters. They're already starting to throw trans people under the bus. It's already starting to happen.
Here we fucking go, man. Here we fucking go. It's that I'm just, man, in the back of my head, I still kind of thought that Kamala had a chance. I really fucking did. I really thought that
No, I
like
did too.
the people hated Trump that fucking much to not do this. Ooh, this is wild. I
Dude,
just can't.
Cookies, I love you. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs again. Drew, here's a big fact. Your local government has more effect on you than those who are the president. 100%.
Mhm.
And Jimmy's show earlier today, they had 2 candidates for the Socialist Party that were bringing up that very fact
Right.
on stream tonight. Local politics has a much larger effect. I think that's why you can tell a lot more about a state and where they're going to be standing politically based off their governor versus who they vote for president.
Right.
It's a great indicator of people's political compass because ultimately governors have a lot more effect, more immediate effect. They're reachable, for lack of better terms.
Mhm.
100%.
Mhm. Yeah, you guys go look them up. It's SPUSA, Socialist Party USA.org. And see if they're doing some kind of local thing because they're serious about getting organized and starting to run people and candidates in local elections. And if we can get a socialist party, even just the name in a socialist party as somebody who's, I don't know, like a city hall member or a board of supervisors or a mayor or something like that, that's something other than Democrat and Republican. And in the bigger scheme of things, yes, it might be nothing, but it's just those little seeds that we need to start. And if the Socialist Party is serious about it, like legit serious, they're going to need all the fucking help that they can get. And I know a lot of people, especially people from my area of expertise and stuff, we could use their help and the skills and everything like that. So just go check it out for sure. SPUSA.org. They're pretty fucking cool people. Not too shabby. At least the presidential candidate and the VP pick. So
My gut said Trump. The internet says Kamala. Yeah, no, California. Honestly, my gut's been telling me Trump this whole time. To go back to what I was saying earlier when I was talking to my brother, I told him Trump's going to get not only just the popular vote, but he's going to win the electoral vote too. And that's what's going to be the dagger. That's what's going to be the most disappointing. And again, I don't operate under the belief that every person who has voted for Trump or still does vote for Trump I don't believe that they're all unreachable.
Hmm.
I think
I think a lot of them are
ultimately
rhinos. I think a lot of them are just
well,
Republican voters, and that's just who it is.
no, I think what it is that when it comes to messaging, Republicans are just able to not operate from the basis of like associating your guilt in it.
Yep.
Because like one thing that I'll bring up, especially for the demographic that has been most helpful for Donald Trump, is the male vote 18 to 35, and the majority of the coastal elitist liberal speak is like, oh, well, you just have a bad life and that's your fault. Deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your own doing.
Yeah, those Jackson
Um,
Hinkle MAGA communist dudes.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. Like him. I'm so glad you brought him up.
Yep.
Because I didn't want to have to.
We were just
Um,
talking about him earlier today.
he
Fucking asshole.
I fucking can't stand people like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just ultimately my point is, and this is something that Michael Brooks had said. Rest in peace to the late great Michael Brooks. But just be kind and forgiving to people, and be relentless to institutions.
Right.
And I think the institutions that Trump represents is something that you can go after, not necessarily the people that vote for him.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that did vote for him, especially in some of these swing states, especially the younger demographics, is because ultimately he spoke to them. He didn't speak at them.
Right.
Say what you want about Trump. I know people love spinning this narrative that Trump is some idiot. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He's kind of losing it, but he's still somewhat sharp.
Right.
He
Yeah.
knows how
No.
to read a room.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. With that demographic, he marketing wise actually did really well. With Kamala Harris, all she really did was bring a lot of celebrities up on her rally stages with her. Who did we see? Like Eminem, Lady Gaga, Oprah, shit like that. But Trump went on podcast shows, these like boy bro podcasters on YouTube and shit, and like he reached out to that demographic. The majority of the 18 to 25-year-old boys in this country are watching those YouTuber bro boys. I can't even fucking think of all their names. There's like a couple of
Oh
them.
no, you're 100% right. I mean, ultimately, you have one candidate who's like, "Yo, here's John Mellencamp and Beyonce," and
Yep.
then the other one's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go on these podcast shows where everybody likes to pretend that they're like those people doing the podcast and they can relate to them,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go on their show and get their favorite podcaster to like me, so in turn they like me too."
It worked. It worked.
And it worked, and
Yep.
it fucking worked, dude.
Yep.
It
Yep.
fucking worked.
I wonder how much money Trump saved compared to how much money Kamala spent on the difference of that.
Shit.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Shit.
Right?
No, but you know what though? I will say this.
Trump
If
the
there's
manipulative
any
queen. Right, girl.
Bernie went out on a podcast too. Dude, Bernie, look, man.
Yeah. Bernie ruined
Bernie
it.
Bernie had that shit, man. If Bernie didn't get fucked over,
Yeah. He had it
things
on
could have
lock.
been so different.
Yep.
Things could have been so different. Things could have been so different. And look,
Yep.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people fucking throw some slack at him. I know, Jimmy, that you're not necessarily a huge fan. But man, I'm sorry. Look, the motherfucker has been doing shit since day one. That motherfucker was out there marching, out there putting his fucking life on the line, and actually doing shit.
Yeah.
For
I
a
still love
very
him.
long time. That dude was fucking anti-Israel before that shit was even allowed to be. And he's Jewish, so he had to deal with not only people just saying anti-Semitism, but he also had to deal with his own family members and friends saying that he's a self-hating Jew and shit. Like,
Right.
it's he is somebody that you can say what you want, like how he had somewhat softened up on his language when it came to Israel most recently.
Yes.
You can definitely have your quarrels about that. I'm not going to argue about that. But my whole thing is look at what he's done overall. Put it all in perspective.
Yes, I
And
understand that, but you have to understand though is that this is a big thing that a lot of people are saying started on October 6th and 7th. So to us, it's like, okay, so how many people in Palestine had to die before Bernie says, okay, this is not okay anymore? And that was the problem that bothered us a lot. Like we knew his history, and that's why it shocked us when he was so pro-Israel. And we waited and waited and waited for him to come to his senses, and the numbers started rising and rising. And finally he got to that point, and it's like, well, bro, like fucking 20,000 people are already dead though. That is that your point? Like 20,000 Palestinians are your red line to say that's enough? Because that's a lot of fucking people dead.
no, and I'm not going to argue with you on that. I like I said, I think that is a very
Right.
excuse
But yes,
me,
his
understandable
history,
position.
understandable. As the Democrats say, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, right?
I fucking hate that saying so.
I know that's why
I
I say
fucking
it.
hate that saying so fucking much, dude. Oh my god, I hate it so much. All right, let's see what they do.
Dude, she
in a
went
little
down.
bit.
Wasn't she at 212? Now she's at 205.
Harris or Donald Trump winning the presidency. If you consider all the projections ABC has made so far tonight, except for North Carolina, that first battleground state. But I want you to see when we assign North Carolina
850 West Coast votes should be in now.
that shifts the likelihood
Let's
of
go
Trump
take a
winning
look
the presidency
at the electoral
76
map.
out of 100 times. We also
Results expected soon for
Secretary of
Nevada.
State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger.
50% of Arizona is reporting. It is 49.8% to 49.4% in Arizona.
Oh my god.
So that is really close. Minnesota is leaning towards Kamala. She's up 53% to 44% in Minnesota. Wisconsin has 70% reporting, and Trump is up 51% to Kamala Harris is 47.6%.
Fuck, he's about to get 4 of them. Oh my god, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. No, wait. We got Kamala Harris votes coming in right now. We should be all right.
Battleground states in order to derail Harris on the path to 270. So right now, as you can see from our projections here, the scenarios that we are running, it looks quite good for Donald Trump at this point in the night. And my colleague Elliot, I think, can talk a little bit more about the outstanding vote in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, David, this might be thought of as a best case scenario for Kamala Harris at this point. One thing that this model you see here doesn't know about is the outstanding votes in Philadelphia. And what we've been seeing there and what Rick's been telling you on his great big board, looking at our benchmarks, is that Democrats just aren't hitting the turnout they need in Philadelphia. The collar counties around that city, they are going for Democrats about what Kamala Harris would need to win, but the turnout just isn't there in Philadelphia.
Yo, he looks like a young
ABC has not
taco
made any
with
projections
more
for
hair.
races. From our perspective, it's just a matter of the
That's
Yo, California, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy the emotes. Enjoy the poop stains.
For Kamala Harris to catch up to Donald Trump with this kind of lead in Pennsylvania. Though the Harris
Hey, there you go, California. Thank you,
isn't even
cookies.
acknowledging that. They've already said this is going to be a very long night or nights. I do want to call, should we call Virginia right now? ABC News
Cookies, you
can
better
project
stop
Virginia.
it.
Mark
I'm
Ryan.
gonna
Yeah,
pet
stop.
you.
Forward here, we'll project
I'll
Virginia,
tickle your
13
feet.
electoral
I'm gonna
votes,
pet you
going to
and
Kamala
scratch right
Harris,
behind your
86%
ear
of the
until
vote
your
in
legs
Yeah.
start shaking.
So
Take note that this is later in the evening than we thought it would be to actually
let's
project
check what
Virginia
Edgar
on 13
Mentum
electoral
has to
votes for Kamala
say.
Harris,
He's one of the
which
people
does
that
signal
follows
tonight,
polls really well.
Rick
Yep,
Klein,
I'm
we're
looking
seeing across
in
the board.
Twitter right now too. The polls are closed. Votes are into the registrar office. This is where people start going fucking crazy. They're starting to count like legit. It's counting vote time all over the country. Well, except for Hawaii. They still got 3 hours.
And Wisconsin, it's
So this is interesting. This is part of the explanation for Trump's surge tonight. This is 3 points worse than Hillary Clinton's margin in La Crosse when she lost the state by 0.76%. If small towns and rural suburbs all swing a bit Trump, as we're seeing, it means a Republican victory.
That we see right there in Pennsylvania. It's Philadelphia. In Michigan, it's going to be Milwaukee. A lot of vote left, as Reince has been talking about. And
Let's see, Ruben Gallego running 7 points ahead of Kamala Harris in the Arizona Senate race. Seems quite likely he'll hold on even if Harris loses the state. as it's looking likely right now, might be the strongest performance of any swing state Democratic candidate.
In Michigan, actually, the Arab American population, and whether or not that could make a big difference here as well. Our coverage continues. We're going to stay on these 3 states. Very close race in those 3 states between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, though Trump leads in all 3 at this hour. We're back in a moment with our ABC News live coverage.
Carolina Attorney General election results. Jeff Jackson wins the Attorney General race. That's pretty big. No, I mean right now, from what I'm looking at from Editor Momentum, he's pointing out basically what we've been talking about. You're seeing Democrats that are outperforming Kamala Harris in states that she's losing. And if that says anything to you, it's not that people hate Democratic policies necessarily. It's that they just really dislike Kamala Harris as a candidate.
Yep.
Pretty clear picture emerging in the Rust Belt. It's complicated. Harris is just under Biden across the board, no matter the region and demographic. Now we wait to see what it looks like in the remaining suburban and urban vote. She'll need a big swing. So yeah, the white suburbanite vote is really going to be coming in handy, but based off of past 2020 elections, in 2016, we all know that white women ultimately are voting a lot more in favor of Donald Trump than a Democratic candidate. But that might be different now because of the abortion thing, so who knows?
David
Yeah.
Miller, ABC's World News Tonight, the most watched newscast in America, and honored.
Once again, thank you to everybody who's been hanging out, watching both of the streams, participating in chat, or even just lurking. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you've been enjoying the coverage. I'd like to think you are. You could be anywhere else, but you're here with us, and that means a lot. Thank you.
And breaking developments from our powerhouse political team tomorrow morning.
All right, I want to see what Fox News is talking about.
From the memo that was released by General Mally Dillon just a couple moments ago sort of speaks to that, and that, you know, we don't have a clear winner in this moment. There's still votes out there being counted. Last time I checked before I came in here, I think 1% of the votes in Wayne County or Detroit was
Jimmy, if you need to go to the
had a lot
bathroom or
more
anything,
votes
just
left
let me
to be
know.
counted in parts
Got
of the
it.
blue wall. I think for the Harris-Walz campaign, they're saying they're banking on this blue wall to win this campaign, so they're going to wait until those.
Because if that happens, what I might do is I'll step away and leave up the Walter Masterson video while we're away.
Okay.
Sean Hannity may have.
Sean is the exception to the rule.
But he wasn't worried about the fact that there weren't actually in yet.
The best is when he said, "I'm not going to get over my skis, but I'm going to get over my skis."
Yo, why does that guy's eyes look so creepy?
Just based on looking at the data going into tonight, but also the numbers on Hispanic men, for example, and the youth vote, the fact that Donald Trump is running ahead of Kamala Harris, according to a number of exit polls, shows that their messaging to those groups isn't working. And the question is why? Why is it that it didn't appeal, the Kamala Harris campaign message? And I think it's interesting to look at the slow death of identity politics that you're seeing in this election. The Kamala Harris campaign tried to argue
Identity politics.
Y'all, cheating is trending on Twitter already. 337,000 tweets already on cheating. Here we fucking go.
Those were the key people that they
Trump's
needed
gonna win and
to
he's
get
still
her
gonna
over the
say
finish line.
they
Now,
cheated. Watch.
long-term, Democrats are going to have to think about their
Next time you cover something, I want a camera shot of you sitting in a desk tuxedo like a poorly dressed news anchor. Damn fucking right, dude. I'll wear like a prom tuxedo.
And at this
Oh
point,
my gosh.
they're looking at the numbers and saying, if we're
It's
running
No way
this
they were
line,
saying cheating. Oh yeah.
It's liberals. I feel like Trump and Elon are
Yeah.
going to get exposed for all the cheating that they're doing during this election. This is how they do cheating. Do you notice
No,
anything?
it's
Oh
blue
my.
MAGA. It's literally blue MAGA.
Oh my God. What is happening? We're like in an upside down world.
Yeah.
What is, holy fuck.
Nothing matters anymore.
This is so
sucks.
uber meta. Holy
Dude,
shit.
just fucking, you know what? Just stick a raccoon up my ass at this point, dude. It's over. We're cooked.
Fucking
If we
A.
were a steak, we wouldn't be well done. We'd be congratulations, dude. We're cooked. It's
For
over.
real. This is
We're
dumb.
seared.
they're saying.
Game over, dude.
But added people on top of that, despite
You mean all the
these
previous
current
elections
conditions
too?
that
No,
were
100%. I mean, it's something that
drilled on by
both
Kamala
sides are gonna
Harris'
do
campaign. I think
all the fucking time. They're gonna be talking about how the other side cheated. It's like motherfuckers when they watch football, right? They're like, "Oh my god, the refs kept calling penalties for us, but not for them." It's like, dude, shut up. Your team just sucked.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I got it. And hear me out, all right?
He didn't like him.
Israel
Then
Gate.
Kamala Harris came on the
Okay?
scene and he wanted to talk
Yo,
about she from Joe Biden.
I'm fucking
Enough
done
said.
with you.
Enough
Everything
said.
is Hamas. Yo, the reason that fucking Trump won, Hamas.
Margin for Trump. He said, I still don't like
I'm
the ballot.
telling
But
you.
also, it's the reason that Kamala Harris
Voter comes
lost.
to mind I saw
I'm telling
today.
you. I'm
He has
telling
not
you. Just
voted
wait.
in an
It's gonna
election
come.
since Obama.
Calling it.
He said, I am a blue
I have
collar
possums and
worker.
raccoons. All right, that's
He
cool
said
too.
earlier
They can play
today
dead in my
he would
ass.
no tax on
Yo, look at that dude
If
crying.
Donald
Why is
Trump
this dude
prevails,
crying? You're a
we
grown
have
ass
to
man
look
wearing an
at his
oversized
working
MAGA
men's
shirt,
agenda,
dude.
no
Get the
tax on
fuck out of
overtime,
here.
limit
Oh
on
my
interest on credit cards,
You're
no tax on
crying.
tips. This holistic look
You're
that
fucking
perhaps
crying,
not just
brother.
realigned the party on blue
No.
collar
So
workers,
also here, let me
but
just say this
demographistically as
because
well.
this
So
fucking
this
replaceable blonde lady from Fox News pointed out ever so clearly. You know, you have one candidate right here that even as unlikable came out and said, "Oh, hey, no tax on tips. Hey, let me try to offer different different things that can appeal to people that helps them financially." And then you have this person right here who's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna talk about $50,000 grants for new business startups because small businesses are the backbone of America. That old fucking tired ass line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is going to resonate and motivate people? Oh, you're gonna hook somebody up who starts a business, so that means that they're already somewhat rich or at least have enough access to capital to get a loan.
Yep.
How's that gonna help me?
Exactly.
No tax on tips, that's gonna fucking help me. Oh, Trump is floating the idea of maybe ultimately removing fucking overtime taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking about Trump? He's talking about removing federal taxes? That sounds appealing to me. I'm not gonna think about what that's gonna do and how the cost is gonna be put back onto me, but it sounds fucking great.
Right. There's a guild named MAGA, but it stands for Make Albion Great Again, because the game is called Albion Online. That's crazy. That's like a like
is still facing other
Minecraft
cases.
having that kind of shit. That'd be
There is an
wild.
appeal of the Attorney
Be like
General's
Hitlerland
case, Letitia
in
James here, that the appeals court looked
in
like
Minecraft
it actually was
or
siding
Roblox.
with Donald Trump.
There's probably I wouldn't
And
put it
they
past
could have a
Roblox though
ruling
for sure.
that either
Dems
slows it
aren't
down
serious
or
people.
reduces
Wait
it
for
dramatically
Wussagate.
right after the
No,
election.
no, and Dems
Even
aren't.
though
I mean,
Vice President Harris
Wussagate
used that in
3.0.
many
Yeah.
ads to say
the problem
that
with
he
the
was,
Democratic Party is that they
convicted,
often
he
focus
also
on
lost the civil case.
trying to find things that they can
It's pretty amazing
campaign
where
on
we
and
are.
fundraise and not win.
Like I wish I were Shannon Bream right now because I don't know all of the legal issues, but I could
But
play
you know
one.
the sense, 30,000 feet.
Yes, I think again it's one of those things that you think of all that he withstood, but it's also this result of these states that are coming in so far. It's because of what they did, right? And he didn't let it bring him down. So he would sit in courtroom all day, and then he would go campaign at night and go do a rally, and he'd be back in court the next day. And if you think even just about the creativity of the campaign, like at McDonald's, et cetera, they were just beating her to the punch every single time.
Yo, I loved him.
And they
I loved him
they
being at the
completely dropped
McDonald's. That was
McFarlane
such a fucking. That was such a G move.
Oh my god, that was
The Trump campaign in
I'm gonna
ridiculous.
Georgia,
serve you some
right now
fries.
leading by
You're
about
gonna love it.
118,000 votes with 93% of the vote in.
Motherfucker
We're
picked up
just
the
not seeing a
fry
lot
picker and put in the
left
bag
in
and was
terms
like,
of
"You
where
don't
the
touch
vote
the
can be.
fries." Like,
We still
no,
got
yo,
some
don't
ground
you
to
know like
Never touch.
food safety,
And
health
that
violations,
means
you
that
fucking rich fuck?
the possibility
Not
of beating
once
up
did
Brett
I ever
Kavanaugh in
touch those
County,
golden
yes,
delicious
votes
fries,
there's no
folks.
question, 44,000.
Like that's
But
you're not supposed to
think
touch the
about
fries. That's how you
maybe
get your
he
food
nets or
handler's
she nets
license. You would learn
30,000 on
that.
that
But
gets
you
you
wouldn't
around
know
maybe
anything about it because
80,000,
you have
and there's
somebody
still other
making you your
places.
food
That's
on a
where this
silver
math
platter
gets
every day.
increasingly difficult, and that's where the
Dude,
fact that
you know what's gonna
Trump's
be fucked
trailing
up?
in
You know what's gonna be
Georgia,
really
as well as
fucked up?
Pennsylvania,
Actually, I'm not
Michigan,
gonna say it because I
Wisconsin,
don't want
makes
to get
this
arrested.
difficult to see. There's still a possibility of a Western path if she can piece together Arizona and
Untouched
Nevada that
fries.
could offset one of these losses, but
No,
not
actually, that makes it sound worse, so I'll just say it so then that way. Plausible deniability, baby. But wouldn't it be fucking hilarious? Like, Trump gets, elected, right? Becomes president, and he's in office, and then he gets like a fucking quarter pounder with onion, and he gets listeria from it, and ends up dying.
That would be amazing. I mean,
Wouldn't that be crazy? And
That
it's
would be
all
wild.
because of like the regulations that he cut from the FDA and shit.
comes in, I think, from the suburbs. I'll check on that in a
Irony would
second. We still
be
have about 250,000
incredible.
votes, about a quarter of the overall vote in the city of Philadelphia.
They would
This
make
is
a
overwhelmingly
tragedy
Harris territory,
musical
but it's
out of it,
less
I would
overwhelmingly
hope.
so than it was for Joe Biden.
And if they don't, I
And
will.
it's still below where we think she would need to be running according
The
to the
Republicans
538
ran here,
benchmark. So she just
Alameda
isn't putting
County
up the
against the
kind of
current
numbers.
DA. They
Even
flipped a
if
bunch
she
of
were to
them, she might lose her
absolutely
job.
bomb the
Yep, no,
outstanding
because they're
vote in
fucking
Philadelphia,
effective
it's
and they
still
know
gonna
how
be hard
they
to
know
make
how
up that
people
gap.
operate when it
Same
comes
thing
to
in these
voting.
other bluer-leaning suburbs.
And it's
Chester,
so fucking
Montgomery,
frustrating.
and one we pay
And
attention
instead
to,
of the
Flux is now
Dems ever
flipped.
growing
It's
a
now
backbone and
narrowly
doing
in Trump's
anything, they just
direction,
fucking concede.
very narrowly, but this is exactly what
Where's
what he
Alameda
needed to be
County? Is
doing.
that
His
like
538
Central
benchmark had
California?
him at 47%. He's 2 points above that in this classic
It's
battleground
illegal to
suburban
use
county.
gloves in
And that's really the
restaurants?
story of the
What?
night, at least so far.
In
We're getting deep into
Australia.
the night. Is that Donald Trump, you know, ran up the margins
That's
in
weird.
so many of these red counties.
Do they have
Maybe
a
not huge urban
enforced
areas or
hand
huge
washing
populated counties, but in
number
all of these
they
red
have to do?
counties, in the swing states where it truly does matter, as you know, it matters
Oh,
everywhere across
Berkeley
the
and
country.
Oakland.
But
Okay.
in the swing counties, Rick, every one of those sort of benchmarks that you were showing me in Pennsylvania, Donald Trump was meeting
Really?
them or just outperforming them.
That's where my
ever so
brother is
slightly.
at,
That
is in
does add up.
Oakland.
Yeah, you can just kind of do a tour of the
They flipped a
state and,
bunch of
and pick almost
Dems.
any county and see that he's outperforming
Oh
where he was
my
where he was
God.
projected to need to be to win the state.
It's
Almost
safer
every
to
place,
use
a
wash
point or
hands?
two here,
Okay.
a point or two there. That adds up. He's adding 25,000
Berkeley and
votes
Oakland,
in
a
a,
bit
in a
sounds
smaller
safer to
county.
use wash hands.
Hearsay College. Rachel talked
Yeah,
about
I
it.
mean,
We
yes
It
and
makes
no.
sense.
This
Like
is a place
if the gloves are
Kamala
used
Harris,
single
frankly,
time and
to
not
win.
cross
She's gonna be
contaminating,
competitive.
but
It
yeah,
is
if they're
That's
cross contaminating and used them
almost
multiple
everywhere,
times for sure.
not just in the battleground
Yeah,
states, but in the
with the
non-battleground
way
states. And
restaurants
that's
run
why
and you
we've
making
seen a
like
map
multiple
develop tonight
different
that
plates
saw
at a
Florida
single
and
time,
Texas
I
get
would think it would
projected
be
very
safer to
early.
wash your hands
Iowa,
than have to
despite
use
that
the
the win rate
same,
was
because
full,
most people would
went
just keep
very
the same
solidly
gloves
for
on for
Donald
like
Trump.
an
That's
hour
looking
and then
now like
change
it's
them. So I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
touching
you might be right.
surfaces, handles, and
victory
shit.
for Donald
Right,
Trump.
right.
And
But if you
while
had like a
we're still
mandatory
sitting
hand
here
washing,
at
like,
a little after midnight,
like
we don't have a
it's
projection
bullet
in New
pointed
Jersey.
for
We don't
every
have
new
a projection in
employee,
New
like,
Hampshire.
you
Virginia
touch
just got
this, then
projected a little
you
while
wash your
back. We
hand,
don't
then
have
you
a
go into the
projection
fridge, and then you
in
wash your
Minnesota
hands, then you touch
just
the
yet.
food. Like
So all these
there's got to
bluer
be
states have
a
moved a
mandatory
little bit
thing,
red.
because yeah,
And again, the upshot is
hands get
right now
nasty
Donald
too.
Trump has
You don't even realize some of the time
4.3
that you're like
million more
wiping your
votes than
nose
Kamala
or,
Harris. That will change. The
tucking your
popular
shirt
vote
in. You don't
change,
realize
especially
you're
with
doing that.
California's vote, but that is an astounding number when you
Dude.
realize he
Oh
lost
my
the
goodness,
popular vote
fucking.
both times he ran.
So
In fact,
this
both
guy
times
just
he
brought
was
up a
around
really good
46.7%.
point.
Okay.
He was talking about the fact that a lot more of these blue counties are moving red. And gee, I wonder if that has anything to do with like this president coming out saying that she wants Republicans on her candidate, and that like, Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney are like people to,
Mhm.
court.
Is that the president up over
I agree.
95,000 votes, and if there's going to be a
That's
ballot
fucking
dump
insane.
in Milwaukee, which is when
Just
they
use
get the
Tom.
Oh
votes
yeah,
True.
yeah. Oh my god, dude. Fucking literally Kamala threw. She fucking threw, bro.
Yep.
It's done.
Yep.
I have a feeling, and there's just something in my gut telling me
Carrie
it's
Lake.
fucking over.
Oh shit! Wait, Carrie Lake was just up. I think she might have won.
going to be a big win for President Trump.
Oh,
Yeah, Carrie Lake
Only
probably.
about
Yeah.
Yep.
35% in. That's going to keep coming the direction of
61 to
President
37.
Trump's.
Wait.
You know,
Oh, that's
like
Wisconsin.
Rick said,
Okay.
I mean,
Ooh.
Kamala Harris is bleeding
In Milwaukee.
every direction. The other point I want to make is that something I've been trying to
What if Trump wins tonight, then tomorrow the results are flipped and Kamala wins? This was a glitch, dude. It's gonna be fucking civil war if that shit happens.
Real.
Motherfuckers are gonna lose their mind. Yo, you got people on the left that are already tweeting about cheating. Man, that shit happens, especially after 2020. Bruh. Bruh. It's gonna be straight bedlam.
But it certainly is how it's trending, and
Oh, Yes.
Not very surprising.
I know. I think it's really interesting, Rice, and I think it comes all the way back to this central issue that we've been talking about all night long.
Oh my God, Chris Christie.
To be told that the stock market hit 40 record highs this year, and interest rates are coming down, inflation's back down at where
Oh yeah, the economy, dude, it's doing so great. The stock market's made all these records. Yeah, they've made all these records. What the fuck has it done for the average person, bro? What the fuck has it done?
the pandemic. And I mean, you have more exit polling nationally and in some of the swing states, right, Lynn?
Exactly, and it goes back to what John Carl was pointing out, how Donald Trump
Democrats
won
can't win.
virtually every rally recently. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And what's interesting, if you look
Ay, ay, ay.
nationally, because at his rallies, obviously those are his.
I will vote for Donald Trump.
In agreement, but
That song, dude, that's what did it.
Yep.
It brainwashed people into voting for Donald Trump.
It absolutely did. I blame you and Hassan. Hassan, mainly, that motherfucker, evil as shit for that.
But this figure is actually worse than even in the Great Recession in
I'm
2008.
not
when
the
we
Dems
had
for 2
42%,
weeks or 3, then I'm a
saying
crap
that
on
they,
Trump's.
were worse
Probably
off
horrible.
than 4 years ago. Then when you take
Hawaii
a
went
look,
blue.
these blue
Damn.
wall
Wait,
states,
nah.
Hawaii was blue 2020.
saying the condition of the nation's economy is
9876,
not
but
so
they
good,
still have a
or
couple of
poor.
hours
More of
before
the
their polls
same
even
in
close.
Michigan, 63%, not so good or poor. Wisconsin,
I was on the
same,
thing,
66%, not so good
vote
or
for
poor.
Chuck
And
Talk
again,
on
it
its
goes without
stream
saying
to
that,
20,000
for
to
months now,
30,000 people every
American people
fucking day.
trusted Donald Trump by and
It's
large
the
when
Latins
it
for
comes to
Trump
the
song.
economy.
You've never heard it, California?
No,
Hold on, dude. I got you, my guy. I got you. Let's see, Latins for Trump song. Here we go. Here we go. You're welcome, everybody.
With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on fighting. And together,
I know, right, Cookies? Oh, God.
make America great again.
For Donald Trump. Look at that, dude. Nothing says average person like jamming out on a yacht. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. My life.
Yo, somebody pushed them in the water. Somebody pushed them in the water, dude. Just fucking, it's Jover. It's fucking Jover, dude. Joe Biden would have never done this to us.
Rebecca,
Just so you all know, if you're not from America, that's America for you now.
Much worse place
Oh.
and yet that was a
For Donald Trump. Dude, Cookies, that's what I'm talking about, man.
I know.
You know what's
My
up.
fucking life. Y'all, I've been tortured with that song all fucking week. I swear.
Yep, dude, and after Donald Trump wins, I'm gonna be blasting it every day.
For 4 fucking years, man.
The
Jesus.
beats were a vibe, I'm telling you. No, but they were basically just saying, oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's what they were saying.
here in New York for this,
And then they were talking about, like, we don't need the fake news, all we need is the truth.
Thanks so much. A beautiful skyline.
It's great. It's honestly a great song. It's fucking poetry.
He calls immigrants criminals and drug gang members and
Oh
shit.
shit.
And then they
Okay, it's 2:30 to 2:10. It's the final fucking countdown, yo.
Okay. All right, Kamala, starting to pick back up with that blue wave. All right.
Yep,
California's
so right
waking
now,
up.
right now, oh my God, Arizona is really fucking close. I mean, she's only down by several thousand.
The West Coast to wake up, baby.
It's only 50% reporting. Minnesota 56% reporting, 51% for Kamala.
Do you think Hassan will become a Republican when Dems blame him? No.
No, I mean, dude, Dems blame him all the time. Like,
I know.
He could have been fucking. He could have flipped like a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
And he hasn't.
He's one of those guys that don't like either one thing, though. He's one of us, dude. Don't roll with California. I ain't getting brainwashed.
There will be recounts. Oh, dude, bro. Look who's in the fucking election. A Of course,
This is a little
of
easier than
course,
the
there's
last
going to
time.
be
That's why
recounts.
you have something like this absolute romp in Florida, which was a battleground state 4 years ago. Now this is a 14, 15-point victory for Donald Trump.
Pennsylvania. Are we getting any
Pennsylvania.
more votes from Philadelphia?
As a matter of fact, we have. So we've been looking at the number to see what
Oh, yep.
happens. And last time we
50,000
checked, it
ballots are
was,
expected to
a
be
little over
announced within 9
250,000.
minutes
Now
for
it's down to
Pennsylvania.
185,000, and you've seen the
Yeah,
margin
that's
come down
big
just a
because
little
right now
bit.
it's at
We
85%.
haven't seen a huge
Donald
shift
Trump's up by 2
in
points right
Harris's
now.
numbers,
Okay.
terms of
Yeah,
carrying
just
the
as
plate.
breaking in
She's still
Pennsylvania,
a couple
MSNBC
points
reports that
below
another
what she
50,000
would
ballots are
like to be.
expected to be
Again,
announced
enough
within
votes out of
9 minutes, and that was
Philadelphia as
2
of
minutes
now,
ago. So we got
with about
within 7
3/4
minutes.
to
We'll get some
potentially overcome that
large
margin.
number of Pennsylvania
Let me
votes.
take this over to Terry Moran.
Pennsylvania.
Terry, you're watching this, what Rick just showed us. It's not just the swing states or the battlegrounds. We saw it in New York State. We saw it in several states where just the margin of victory. Virginia, for example, it took us a long time to call that tonight. What do you make of this sort of redder shift this election?
Well, it's a red shift. It's really a
That's
Trump
interesting
shift,
that
right?
Virginia went
It's a remarkable
blue
thing
because
that
I think
Trump would
Virginia
win or
was
lose, and
red
it certainly
before in
looks as if
2020,
like
was
he's
it
gonna
not?
win. What he's
No,
done
it was blue.
is
Okay.
he has continually expanded that movement, that populist movement that he ignited the moment he came down that escalator in 2015. He got more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016. He's getting more votes now, and he is diversifying this coalition. Our exit polling data says that Hispanic voters nationally are going 53-45% Harris. That is the best showing for
Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested though to see
45% since
who specifically
1976.
Democrats start
These young men
trying to throw under the bus for some of these underperformances that she's had. Because I mean, if you can't even outperform fucking Hillary Clinton,
to this
that's bad.
anti-establishment populist movement that he launched. And yes,
Oh, I don't have the VOD up, so I should be good.
yes, the economy is part of it, but it's something he's done. He's realigned our politics.
And I keep turning it off. I don't have it up the whole time,
Yeah.
so it should be all right. If not, then I guess I'm fucked.
Should be all right. Yeah. Hassad was watching that shit all day long tonight.
Let's see. Chance of control. Okay. Democrats are now favored to flip control of the U.S. House according to the fucking DDHQ election polls. That's interesting. Oh, this is a great take. They sent Liz Cheney on a 3-state tour. They sent Kathy Hochul to PA. They sent Richie Torres to Michigan to start flossing in front of people who had lost half their families.
Oh.
I mean, it's a great fucking point.
Yep.
Eventually, more concisely, what we saw tonight was a massive race step. Harris actually did fine with whites. She would have been in a good position had minority stayed about the same as 20 or better. Case in point, she's down by almost 5 in Northampton with 90% in, which is 1/5 Latino.
Somebody has a gif of the Sleeping Beauty fairies that fight with each other and change each other's dress to red and blue, and it says Pennsylvania every 2 seconds.
Makes possible the good to which we
Oh
aspire.
god, the internet. Hassan is rich, California. You are right.
No, well, they're in 2022.
Yeah, he's rich,
Just
but
that
I
year
mean,
alone, they paid $96 billion into the Social Security.
it's about like the only
Medicare
negative
system.
thing people can say about him, so I'll
I
take
know.
it.
Yeah.
Undocumented. We're not even talking about documented. Just undocumented.
Pennsylvania, hurry
It's
up,
called the
bitch. I
ITN
can't
number.
breathe.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so you're undocumented, you're working, taxes get taken out, and it's through an ITN number.
Aw, this girl said
They
some
get
facts.
I
Why
mean,
does
before they even
Pennsylvania get to
paid. I'm a
decide if I
comedian,
keep
I'm
my
talking
rights?
about
I fucking hate this
taxes
country so
and
much.
immigration. These are hysterically entertaining subjects. You know. Yeah.
So then you're kidding me about the amount that they're paying in.
I'm not kidding. No. I'm dead serious about that. They $96 billion. You feel free to do your own research on that. They pay like heavily into the system. They like are propping up our Medicare system. They're propping up our Social Security system. And my concern is if they were to disappear tomorrow, what would happen to our Social Security system? Would it be insolvent in like 2 to 3 years? What would happen to our Medicare system? Would it be insolvent in a few years? What would happen agriculturally? They're 49% of the workforce, agricultural workforce. things like that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, but it seems ludicrous that there would be that kind of money coming in.
You are 100% right. Given everything we've heard, it sounds absurd. It sounds insane, and it sounds like just like an alternate reality, right? It runs counter to the entire narrative that we've been getting the past several years. How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system every year? Zero. 2022, they paid.
Someone said
$96
Pennsylvania's
billion
gone. Sorry,
into
buddy, it's
Social
over.
Security and
Australia's a
Medicare,
nice
just
place to live.
undocumented.
Cookies, we coming, bitch.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I just learned this the other day, and I was like, it kind of blew my mind.
I'd rather deal with
How
the
much do
Huntsman
you think
spiders.
undocumented immigrants
Come on through.
pay into the tax
Right?
system?
Nothing.
Give me the Huntsman spiders any day over fucking this
2022,
shit.
they paid
Ah.
$96 billion into Medicare and Social Security.
Who did? The government?
The undocumented immigrants, they paid into the system $96 billion.
But how much are they actually taking from them? That's
They actually don't get Social Security benefits. They pay into that system. They don't get it back. They don't, some of them have received SNAP benefits, which is like
Yo,
$300
she
a
looks
month.
pissed.
I mean,
Yo.
could you feed yourself on $300 a month?
Oh, no.
No, probably no.
honestly, yes, I think we could. If
I mean,
I
you
think-
you have to get
Con,
creative.
I say
How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system?
Right now, there's no checks and balances for
How
the
much do you think they pay?
illegal.
No, illegal.
They're taking.
Undocumented. How much do you think?
Some do pay.
they pay
Yeah.
sales tax.
They pay.
No.
some
Social
have
Security
EIN
and
numbers,
Medicare. Yep. Okay.
have
No.
EIN numbers,
Yep.
and
Here
they
we.
pay their tax.
How much do you think that is? And like just
For the
to.
whole country?
Yeah, but all of the undocumented, not even documented, undocumented. That's what we're worried about, right? We're here for the undocumented.
Alright, you really want to know?
Yeah.
The undocumented, they've been here for many years. The working people that have come here and they're
How much
helping.
do you think they pay into Social Security?
I don't know, but I can tell you they're the ones paying. The people that just came over, not paying.
So they, so the
stealing,
ITN number,
killing.
you're cooking right now. I like this. In 2022, $96 billion was paid into the Medicare and Social Security system.
Are you saying that you?
I'm saying they are propping up the
Are
Social
you
Security
saying
system.
That would you be welcome to opening your homes to these undocumented?
That's called kidnapping. That's trafficking.
No,
Your home if they were vetted? Would you let people in your home be vetted?
I
Can I
have
come to your house
multiple
tonight?
times.
I'm a veteran of
not
this country.
illegal.
I'm fully vetted. Can I come to your house tonight?
Are you in need?
Are you in need? Yeah.
Here's my point. It's an unequivocal argument. Coming into our country versus coming to a house are two different things. A country's public space. My house is private space.
God bless you guys.
So you're saying if I want to let somebody in my private space, they also can't come to my public space. That's what I.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How much do you
Exactly.
think?
Did you
undocumented
lose the
immigrants
argument?
pay
Just start
in
ignoring it like it didn't even
taxes?
happen.
Probably nothing.
So in 2022, it was $96 billion to Medicare, Social Security, all of that.
That we paid to them.
No, they paid into the system. They don't get
Oh,
Social
wow, yeah,
Security.
yeah.
They don't get those benefits. They pay it into the system.
Okay.
So through ITN number.
So documented immigrants?
Undocumented immigrants. They
Wow.
pay Medicare, they pay Social Security. They don't get Social Security.
Right, but they pay into it.
They pay
Ah,
into
see, I
it.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Well, you know what? A lot of Americans are lazy, man. We've made them lazy, though.
Immigrants?
Americans? No,
Yeah.
I said Americans are lazy.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
they're taking our jobs, because Americans are lazy as hell, man. It's a shame.
You want people to go out and work and pick
You know what?
corn and do agricultural work in like 110-degree weather.
Of course, yeah.
I was reading my Trump Bible. What? You think I'm a sucker because I paid for the Trump Bible?
I'm on record saying that you're.
I'm on record.
Have you read the Trump Bible? No. I actually have a Trump Bible with me.
What is the Trump Bible?
You never seen the Trump Bible?
No. What is it?
All right, let's go back to coverage and see what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Since at least.
Oh, they're going to commercial. Motherfuck.
Yep.
Motherfuck.
Too soon to call, so that's where we are. We'll see if we
Arizona,
get a
too
in
soon
a
to
moment
call.
here on some of the other
You know,
stuff.
Interesting.
More and more as the night goes on. Sean
Oh,
Hannity
yeah.
in that T-shirt.
Only an
seems
hour and a
far
half
distant thing.
from elections
We
closing.
could be looking at a real tilt here. Something that
I figured that
goes a
Arizona
long
would have
way. Not
easily
only
flipped
the
more right than anything.
coattails,
That's interesting.
we don't know about the House, but the Senate, and we could be looking at something that is historic.
Which means that, right, based on what Bill's describing here,
there's a lot better chance that he runs all 3 of those states than there is that Vice President Harris does. Right. Which shows you, just illustrates how long the odds are.
Yo, put that man to bed. Put that old fucker to bed.
She could do it, but based on
For
our
real. It's
call.
not nighttime. Yo, speaking of, I'm gonna be wrapping it up soon. It's almost 12:30.
I mean, it would be.
Holy
yep,
shit.
You would be in landslide
Hmm.
territory.
We've been streaming for
If
3 hours already. Let's go.
He ends up
That's
taking
right. Hell yeah.
To take small margins and turn them into electoral college landslides to make the
All right.
outcome convincing.
But
Yeah.
it's an if.
I'm going
Of course.
to let's take one last look at this here electoral map. Okay, so
Agreed.
210 to 230. Before we sign off, Jimmy, any final thoughts? Any final predictions that you want to make out there?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that Trump is going to win this. Like I said earlier, it is kind of depressing. Plus side, we have content for the next 4 years, so hell yeah. Other than that, I'm kind of
Just at the
sad.
expense of other people's lives.
Yeah, it's kind of it's gonna be a rough 4 years, y'all. So just prepare for the roller coaster. This is gonna be
Yeah,
interesting.
in the future, we're going to be doing, or at least myself, will be doing a lot more political content. I'm not just going to assume Jimmy wants to be a part of it,
Of
but
course, it's my world. You guys are joining my world, motherfucker. This is
oh,
my shit
chill
right
there
here.
now.
This is my
No,
world, baby.
definitely going to be doing more political content. I'm going to be having more, not necessarily scripted episodes, but definitely more narrated. Tell a bit of a story and kind of bring a message through that way effectively, and have different things that we focus on each day.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, depending on what the news cycle is, it might focus on one thing more than another at a certain time.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely something going to be doing more in the future. It was a lot of fun today. I appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah. I'm so excited for you to be getting into this stuff. This is so much fun. I think that it's a good release. It's definitely going to help. Very therapeutical too. So I'm excited you're getting into it. You guys in my chat, go give him a follow. Papa Hirsch, POPPAHERSH. I am really horrible at the shout outs. I do not know how to do that shit. I know it's in there somewhere, but I don't know how to do it. So just go give him a follow. Yeah. Hell yeah. I had a fucking blast today. Who do you think's gonna win? You think Trump too?
Yeah, I think Trump's going to pull it out. I think he's going to win Pennsylvania and one of the Great Lakes states, and it's going to be a wrap. That
Yep.
in Georgia, I think
Yep.
it's going to be a wrap.
I agree.
And it's going to be 4 years of Trump presidency and Dems blaming third-party voters, even though like the numbers didn't reflect any sort of influence on the election. They're going to blame people that support Palestine. They're going to blame the LGBTQ community. Basically everybody but themselves. I think
Right.
that's what's going to happen.
Yep. We're gonna see a nice little ratchet to the right from the Democrats for sure the next 4 years.
Yeah. But that being said, once again, thank you to everybody who came by, hung out, participated. Really do appreciate it. We will be doing this more often, so keep an eye out on your notifications. And until next time.